beware. I hope your ship is well, that only Jolly Roger has been through hell. Yo ho, on an adventure we go, in the deep digital high seas, we travel with ease, until we reach the outer edge and freeze. The Arctic chill like a very speed mill, through the darkness led by our will. Yo ho, on an adventure we go, to beyond the outer limits of society, broadcasting the reality. The pirates will always steal the show, from WPRPN, you know. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. Dock our vessels in the Skullport Harbor, lowland lovers will fight for you harder. Your old first mate went AWOL, after a drinking guild hall. The legacy of pirate radio is strong. I hope our mates will come along. The changes we seek may not be long. That is why I wrote this song. And we go ho ho, on adventure we go. Welcome everybody, friends, folks, foes, and fellow pirate mateys, to yet another weekly edition of World Pirate Radio News. It's show segment number 307. I'm your host, as always, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffy Ryder. WPRPN.com is a website we will direct your attention to. Sign up is free. All you simply need is a username, password, and email. From there, if you do, for whatever the case may be, run into any problems, we'll be sure to help you out, send you sailing off in just the sort of direction you hope to be. Contact us, of course, through our main email, pirate1radio@protonmail.com. That's pirate, the numeral 1 radio at protonmail.com. We'll take whatever steps necessary in helping to smooth things over. Be sure as well to take a look at, check out the show description end of things. We got a lot of great handy dandy links that are available for your general perusal, not least of which is, of course, our Patreon. You can join that for free as well. Although there are, various stages of support that one can engage, always appreciated. We have a few online merchandise outlets as well, where things such as coffee mugs and t-shirts are up for grabs, and PayPal as well too, pirate1radio@protonmail.com once again. So do take note of that very important email contact address. Also, if you have any show suggestions or guest ideas in mind, that's the way to do it as well. Just fire off an email. You can also become part of the contact list, of course, where we keep you in the loop through email as to any
fast breaking news items or stories that we reckon it's important to keep our audience members abreast of, so to speak. So, liking, commenting, sharing, remembering to hit the subscription notification buttons. Very powerful stuff. We really depend on that. If you're not able to help us out through other means, and speaking of the donations, once again, just in capping things off here to emphasize how any support that you do offer in that regard, half of everything goes directly back to charity. So hashtag good karma, folks, or hashtag WWRHD. What would Robin Hood do? Think about that for a moment or two. Certainly, you would imagine that he and his merry band of high seas digital outlaws would make some effort in working to reach out and lend a bit of a hand up, as it were, to some of the folks out there who really could stand to benefit from such a thing. So passing word on to your friends, family, and coworkers too. That is super powerful grassroots synergy that you can freely be a part of and engage in. So do consider taking a little time and helping to make that happen. So, a lot of items to get to here this go round. Show segment number 307, World Pirate Radio News. We have a pretty reasonable lineup here as far as roundtable personalities are concerned. Folks who find themselves essentially scattered out all around the world, from Canada to the UK to the US, and of course here in South Korea, where we find our live streaming headquarters based out of. We see Yvonne Malfong there working out, looks like on a treadmill, developing a bit of a sweat. Hopefully doesn't overly exert himself. Lower Mainland Port Coquitlam resident over the past number of years. Mark Edworthy out of the UK. Sonia Galactic and Roger Hansen, who the two of them are U.S. citizens. Sonia out of Phoenix, and Roger, someone whose home state is Illinois, actually. So there we go, folks. Why don't you enter into the fray here, if you will, and we can get the ball rolling. Each of you welcome, of course, as always, to bring to the table whatever top news stories have managed to find their way onto your radar, as it were, or really made an impression over the past week. Also, where the mainstream has basically dropped the ball and either completely ignored or neglected in reporting on, or simply misrepresented the issues, the framing of things, gaslighting, as is typically the case, of course, and sandbagging, straw manning, all of those standard techniques. Who'd like to step up to the mic here first? Sonia, we hear you typing.
I am typing. Roger, if he's around, he can kind of hop in real quick.
Down here.
Or Mark.
Down.
Roger's having some tech issues, he was saying earlier.
Yeah,
Ooh.
can you guys hear me?
We can,
Yeah.
yes.
What are you guys' thoughts on that whole thing going on down in Guantanamo Bay with these immigrants
Haven't
or
heard of,
illegals?
have not heard of anything. What's the deal?
Me neither.
Yep, they're
Yeah,
Donald
that's
Trump
not-
is
and we-
planning on sending all the illegals down to Guantanamo Bay, and then I've heard also that there's a chance he's going to be sending some of the illegals that are criminals down to El Salvador, and possibly some people who are
Yeah, I've heard of-
citizens in the United States too.
Mark,
heard
you were
of
going to
the-
interject.
Salvador there. Yeah, I've heard of El Salvador.
Your audio quality is
What
still
is-
horrendous, by the way. You know,
Okay.
we did the audio,
So,
the
yeah,
tech check there. That's why we're
that.
slightly delayed. So
What was I saying? Yeah. I just wonder if this is I just wonder if
okay, Mark, we're gonna kick you out
Mhm.
again and get you to come back, or shut your video off and try it that way. Maybe give it a shot again here on the mic.
He gets fired up when I talk. He loves to
I can't-
he loves to badmouth me is
Yeah.
what it is,
I'm
and
just-
he gets all hysterical and his hair gets in the way of the microphone.
I just can't make out heads or tails of what he's getting at actually.
Neither can I.
okay.
He's a rebel. He's a wild man.
Yeah, right. Sure. Okay, Mark, you one more try here, and I'm not sure what we'll do after that. Give it a shot.
Okay. Try that again. I was saying that I've heard about the El Salvador thing, but Trump has got a habit of saying things and not always keeping to that timetable. As far as well, on the second point, I think that the requirements for a processing facility to make sure that these people are going back to the countries that they are meant to be returning to. So yeah, you're going to need processing facilities. You're going to have places to hold illegal migrants.
The invaders,
Well, if you want to call them that, yeah.
criminal
Well, I mean-
invaders. Well, they knew they were breaking the law.
Well, I mean, of all places, though, Guantanamo Bay, this is a place where they were waterboarding people and stuff, I mean, come on, dude. It's like,
Well, yeah.
I believe it's still being active for some time anyway. It's actually technically closed down. But if it is a facility that has been underused and it serves the purpose, it can potentially serve the purpose, why not use that? After all, it's taxpayers' money. It's taxpayers' you own building.
I think it's been used enough, to be honest. I don't think it's been underused whatsoever. I mean, that whole facility is the
compared to what it
underbelly.
was back in
That
compared
whole
to what it was back in 2002, 2003.
that is a
It's been
blight
underused.
on the American history. Okay, like that place should be torn down and
I
never
agree.
used again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Like,
It should be made in a museum or something. Maybe not.
I think
Yeah.
what's happening here partly is that, I mean, if I was one of these illegal invaders, that I would, you would see the writing on the wall, and you would realize that you have the opportunity now to freely leave of your own will and ability, if that's at all possible. So yeah, so many of them on the U.S. American taxpayers' dime were brought in shipped into the country under the Biden administration, and with the red carpet rolled out for the vast majority, is what it seems, really in a very accommodating manner. And now the tides have turned. Canada similarly, and so it will be interesting to hear from Yvonne his take and perspective on things, if he's able to, comment in any way. Of course, he does have a new job starting. I guess it's just in the next few days, where he himself will be uh, working out of a processing sort of transitional institution, holding type facility that Canada has, and the numbers there that have been floated, it's 5 million plus in a nation of only around 40 million. So we're talking, if you do the math, around 1 in 8 people has been asked to leave, supposedly. And I'm not sure. I guess maybe that's the Trudeau, or if you will, Castro regime has probably decided that because it's all about the votes. Obviously, it's always all
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
votes. That in order to win back, try to win back a little more of the Canadian people's favor and support, this is what they'll be required to do, obviously. So, can you imagine that, the 1 in every 8 people being asked to leave? That they really, and well, I mean, how many were brought in under the Castro regime over the course of the past 8 years or so? I don't know. Maybe I hope
Definitely. It's
Yvonne.
funny that you're talking about.
Yeah. Go
Uh,
ahead.
I was going to say it's funny that you're talking about Justin and Biden, because I made this argument before that this goes back to Tony Blair's government back in '97. Blair was supposed to introduce mass migration into Western world, into the Western
That's
world.
right. Yeah, in conjunction with the Kalergi plan. So
Yeah.
look into that, folks. They call it it's the so-called Great Replacement, and but it's ultimately, you follow things back far enough, and you'll see it emerged via this so-called Kalergi plan. Himself, I think he was a hybrid uh, alien. Who knows exactly, but Jewish Japanese Freemason, if I've got the details straight there, and the Freemason angle, I think, was really that's critical within the context of things. So you can look up. There's a famous book that he published that he was best known for. This pan-European business, where ultimately it would lead to, the goal was the total liquidation of the white European race. They just stated as much in the documents, the formal, a white paper. I mean, that's racist these days, even to refer to it as such, obviously. So that leaves a real black eye on some people with their reputation or what have you. But yeah, it's an ongoing bit. It's total order out of chaos, of course, right? The endless ordo ab chaos. That's the modus operandi. That's what they pursue in earnest within Freemasonry. Past, I think it's the 32nd or 33rd degree. That's the new that's the course that they're set out upon, and required to really pursue in earnest. So I don't know if anyone has more to add to that, but you are right, Tony Blair. I'm not sure if you heard that from me,
Yeah.
or you just because you follow
No,
UK history and
when I back in
politics, labor.
'97, I was my second job
Can't stand that guy.
UK. So obviously I was
Oh, what was your job? Your job
there.
was mostly computers, though,
What
but
was my job in '97?
uh-huh,
I did one contract for a insurance company,
uh-huh,
and prior to that was a very short private sector or private job contract for the NHS,
uh-huh.
consultancy job for the NHS.
Mm. And how did that go?
Development. It was okay. That was a very short job. That was on the
Did you pick up a lot of
same.
insight and life experience, realization as to the way that the chess pieces were being manipulated, and the demographics? The British demographics were
I don't know.
really shifting.
I don't know. It was really that noticeable in that time, except
Yeah.
for Polish. It was mainly Polish
Those
and
damn Polacks, huh?
um,
I tell you. Hey, what are your thoughts
and
on the grooming
Ethiopia.
gangs? The grooming gangs is a hot issue these days in Britain. Yes, aren't they? Don't they
The
constitute? Aren't
government
they mostly Polacks? Those are those damn Polish again, causing all the problems. No, or is it kind
uh,
of the
no,
suicide
technically,
missions driving,
hardly
attacking
in
people?
have been convicted yet. I'm not sure. So I will say allegedly, Pakistani,
Yeah,
allegedly.
see, that's what I was getting ready to
Allegedly,
say.
Convicted yet.
You want to piss
allegedly.
Mark off? Talk about the towel heads, dude. He gets all pissed off. He'll start getting fired up, talking
Well,
about
yeah,
how
we
those
gotta.
damn.
Yeah. Now, I
About
hopefully,
what?
hopefully you're saying that in jest, tongue in cheek. So, but
Oh,
just
I mean, I am saying it in jest, but it's the
yeah.
truth too. Like you
Oh,
say
there's a
anything
lot.
about those dirty Arabs, and he
Ah,
just goes
yeah.
nuts, man.
There's a lot. Just
That's not true.
for the
That's
record,
not
there's a lot of good people in my way of seeing it. There's a lot of good
indeed.
people in all ethnic groups. It doesn't matter who you are, whether Pakistani, Jewish, European, Asian. It doesn't right clear across the board. It's Hispanic, but there's also bad apples. And the thing about it is, as far as I'm
Mm,
circumcised,
like it.
is
Yeah.
you've got to hold them accountable. And if they're not held accountable, and cops are the same. Cops or biker gangs. Oh, we're just a fun loving, weekend sort of, beer drinking, kind of party atmosphere, biker club. You can't call them gangs, of course. But if they step out of line and don't hold their people account, Freemasons, another good example. Oh, we're just a fraternal order, nothing too sinister, diabolical at 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 play here. But when you find that they're being caught up in these pedophile scandals time and again, that's a problem. It really does not, the optics, it doesn't reflect well on the wider group. Um, and what we're talking about largely here, the fallacy of composition and or fallacy of division is what they're known as, which everyone should
Mm.
take time to investigate and learn a little bit more about these basic fallacies, because I know that if I can get my stupid head wrapped around these basic concepts, logical concepts, then most everyone else out there can as well, because I'm just a pretty regular potato head, Mr. Potato
Mm.
Head. And but fallacies of composition or division, that in other words, with composition, saying what's true of the parts is true of the whole, or contrarily, vice versa, what's true of the whole is true of the parts, the division, breaking it down, right? And then how people, sometimes, all too often, actually, you know, mistakes are made in judgment and the way that we assess the situation. So, but yeah, those damn towel heads, I tell you, huh? Those, what do they call them? Sand beavers. You got to watch your language being on YouTube. Even if you say things in jest or it's like YouTube cannot take a joke. And that reminds me, Fakebook recently they censored us again, folks. Just to let you know, we've
Facebook.
we've had our legs chopped out
Do
from
you
us here
know?
once again,
You
kneecapped.
know why?
World Pirate Radio, the World Pirate Radio podcast network, WPRPN group has been taken offline. Like it's just brutal. They took our Pirate Radio podcast page offline. It's there, but I don't even know. Like I guess if you're a member, you can see it, but you can't. Nobody can engage. You can't contribute or do anything with it. And for what reason exactly, we have no idea. But I'm going to read you a little something here momentarily. Just with respect to their official. Let me get you guys up on screen share while we're doing this here too. Maybe or maybe not. This might not be the best way of doing it if we're more technically gifted. Yeah, well, first of all, we'll read what we have here to you and take it from there. Their disclaimer, basically, as to why. So, yeah, as you can see, they claim they use the same community standards around the world for everyone. Mark will love this. Our
Yeah.
technology, AI, found your content. So concluded. In other words, it goes against our standards. Let's slow that down for me. Goes against or whatever goes. What does that mean? Translation, please. Hang on, Mark. Our review team and technology work in let's see this again. Work in many languages to ensure our standards are applied consistently. Oh, right, yeah, yeah. Why am I not convinced? Your group has been disabled. This is because here we go. Real kicker. WPRPN goes against community standards of inauthentic behavior. Love that little catchphrase. Inauthentic. So it's you're not being real. Somebody's not being real, I guess, is what they're trying to say. It's like, okay, what's next? We have these standards because blah blah blah. We want everyone to feel safe, respected, and welcome. Well, isn't that kind of like our job? And if people have problems, just leave, go away, don't join, ignore, find somewhere else to spend time online. Anyways, if your content goes against our community standards, and there's that term, a catchphrase, goes against these community standards, again, your account may be restricted or disabled. Are they talking about our personal account? I really couldn't tell you. So you can disagree with the decision. I think we got it wrong. Inauthentic behavior, blah, blah, blah. And we don't allow people to misuse. That's a nice little, interesting little term. Misuse our platform to misrepresent. There's another some sort of term that they're using here, the legalese. Translation, please. Themselves or to fake popularity or something. And guess what? Just so long as we're clear, we didn't post anything. It wasn't us. If this is the issue that they're finding that there's such a problem regarding, we never even posted anything on this group in the last
I don't get
while.
it.
Well, let me just
it's
finish. Just let me
saying-
finish. Hang on, Mark.
Okay.
Examples we don't allow. Das ist verboten, ja? The Herr Zuckerberg. Herr Zuckerberg, das ist verboten.
He is.
But he's
freaking,
love that Jufro he was sporting at the inaugural gathering. Like there was just like, oh God, how okay.
Every time this happens, you just go ape shit crazy, dude.
Well, I mean, for the record, because
Man.
this is just one example of how we're getting targeted,
Yeah, I
and they're
know.
trying to take us down offline. So using inauthentic accounts to make something look more popular than it is, we didn't do that. That wasn't us. Okay, are using inauthentic tactics to deceive people about the purpose. So you're trying to hoodwink them. So like the Masons do, for example, the hoodwinking. Get it? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The purpose of topic, page, group, or account using inauthentic accounts to deliver authentic-looking fake reactions. Like, I don't know who did this at all.
So what are you saying? We all lactose.
What?
Yeah, we
That
all
is
lactose.
dumb.
This is all scripted.
This is off Facebook.
Yeah.
See, and this is why I don't use Facebook.
Yeah.
The the best gift that God gave you was the freaking deactivate button.
Uh-huh.
Like
Well,
I walked away from Fakebook and it took so much relief off of me, dude. Like,
oh,
and
well,
YouTube's
yeah.
on its way out as soon as I
Uh-huh.
start building up my subscriptions on Rumble and all them. But
Uh-huh.
as soon as I get enough to where I'm satisfied, I'm done with YouTube too.
Uh-huh. Well,
But
we've been doing cat and mouse with YouTube for 10 years. Facebook almost took my account offline if it hadn't been for a picture that I sent him that thankfully Angel put together in support of a show we did where my mugshot was a part of the promo kind of splash photo that saved our
I,
account. Otherwise, they were wanting to just delete it. It was crazy. Like they're just total digital, cyber Nazis. It's pretty bad. YouTube is worse, though. I think though, but I really think YouTube is worse. So it's really awful.
I have to say it's getting there, but whenever because I used to do my streams and everything on Facebook too, and what would happen is they were actually giving me copyright infringement for music that they were supposedly letting me use for free.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Or they come up with it's just endless stream of fake allegations. Or you could have people trolling you that are just trying to make your life difficult because they know how to do that to get people taken offline or shut down. But I think what they do, they make these along the lines of what you just shared with us, Roger, that there's these fake music companies. And I almost suspect Zuckerberg may have a hand in this, similarly to why, like, I cannot help but hold Elon Musk.
This actually goes back to a legal case back in, must have been 10, 15 years ago now, Would you may remember it, in relation to the licensors, all
Julian
together and
Assange,
taken,
free Julian. Hey, come
no,
on, he's out. Free as a
no,
bird.
the ESP, the sound
ESPN
production. Yes, could be.
Sports Network.
No, actually, ESPN is a
Sports Network.
maybe, but yeah, it goes back to a
ESP
legal
is what
case
aliens use
back
to read
in
our minds.
10 years ago, and it's also related to a lot of these. The US's strife with a large number of copyright legal.
What is Yvonne up to there in the gym? It looks like he's got his wife down. You don't have Michelle
side of
little
that is a bit of
out of range there below
ambulance
where we're
chasers of
seeing the
things.
camera cut in there, Yvonne. Like, if so, you really, we should take your video stream
But
kind of
there's
offline.
a lot of money to
She's
be
not there in the
made
gym with you, is she? Looks like
soon people
whether you're
will copyright.
gyrating. Oh God! Look at those hip thrusts. Woo! Yvonne. Sorry, Mark. Just to reiterate. Yeah, hi. My brother. He's a nutritionist, kind of sports guy, and as great as exercise is, that apparently food is number one. Believe it or not, like what we consume is so. I kind of take his word on that, just because he seems to be sort of the expert in that area. I have no idea. But yeah, exercise is number two. But I know it does feel good to work up a really decent sweat, which is something that sucks because I started running, jogging, more or less, doing some wallies back, to one side of the field, then the other, and kind of like building up over time. But then I suddenly am struck down with this arthritic knee. Although I would like to bring it, and then now I've had these injections that have helped things along, the physiotherapy and so forth. It was really painful for a number of months. But something I was going to bring up with Sonia here was we recently got some arnica ordered thanks to iHerb, Yvonne. So thank you, because Yvonne was the guy. Now I'm not. This might help him out with his discounts and what he's able to for future purchases that he makes. Basically, you know how these things work, referral links and so forth, the people that you have in your downline, as it were. I think they call it a downline. But sorry about shifting gears there a little bit, Mark. We'll come back to the Arnica in a moment or two. Carry on, Mark. Cap that off what you're talking about. Have you managed to collect your thoughts and ready to roll?
Sorry, I'm totally lost at the moment.
What happened?
I'm having some audio problems with it, but yeah.
Well, sound okay. Well, you're sounding better than you were before. Just, I think there's some issue with it's maybe your net neutrality. That's another thing that really, I don't know how to put exactly, but really it really burns my, I don't know, just really under my skin, you know. Just the way it's the way it's framed and the way they present it to us. Burns my what?
It sounds like your world is stirred, spinning around. Hard to hear you.
Me? Well, get closer, man. Get closer to the camera. Yeah, Mark.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You look good there, Yvonne. Get closer. Get closer to the camera if you can. There you go. Hold that pose and do your little work it now. Work it. If you want to be on camera, go for it. Can you still, are you riding a bike? Looks like you're right. Okay.
Stationary bike.
Is it okay to ride it like that? Like, can you stay there or is it uncomfortable?
Have you guys seen?
Well, I'm not moving now.
Well, you can't ride the bike. Okay, well just go for it. See, try to get closer if you can.
I can kind of, but
all right.
Sorry to interrupt you.
You son
I was just going to mention. Have you guys heard willful? What's the book called? I put on the chat.
Willful Ignorance.
Do you know? Willful Ignorance. Samuel Cooper.
Who?
He's been writing about. His name's Sam Cooper. He's a journalist on the West Coast.
Okay.
And he's got to expose the money laundering in Richmond.
Chinese casinos?
Casinos, yeah, exactly. Way back in the day. And they're bringing money in, and they're also bringing in kind of like pre-fentanyl ingredients. Then they're making fentanyl pills in the mountains around Vancouver, and then they're shipping them south. And the Americans or Canadians say that, oh, well, there's only so many millions of dollars worth of fentanyl that's been caught. Well, we're only checking 0.5% of the boats going out. So, of course, we're not going to get that much. And anyway, we talked about this and how the corruption with the Liberal Party in Canada. And it's pretty sad. And if you remember, we talked about this last year in during the opium wars around then. The British brought opium from Burma and Bengal, and they brought it to Vancouver, Victoria, processed it there, then took it over to China and got everybody addicted to opium.
Mm-hmm.
Now, karma bites us in the ass. The Chinese Communist Party are determined to get all Canadians and Americans addicted and dead from fentanyl.
Where were you first able to connect the dots on that one, Yvonne? Did you do that on your own, or did you hear it via some other outlet?
Naroki's the one that discussed that too.
Yeah, but when did Naroki make that point?
He's actually brought it up in his next talking points. There's supposed to be some kind of investigation that's going on up there in Canada here before long.
We've been talking about that whole angle with the karmic payback for the opium wars for several years now.
Yeah.
But it's a great point. It warrants repeating. So thank you. Yeah. Hell yeah. And you got those absentee landlords. Look at the real estate costs. That's all artificially, that's a totally unnecessary. It's just poor, it's mismanagement, the corruption.
Vancouver and Toronto.
Yeah, my God. It's, yeah. So, Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see like how with the when is the next election due to take place? And secondly, Castro, if he chooses, like and
Maybe
manipulate plays
May.
that
We're not.
he can delay it for like a year and a half, can he not? If he wants to.
No.
Yes,
You
yeah.
watch. Mark my words, Yvonne. You watch that dirty SOB. You
I
watch.
can't see. No, I can't see that.
No,
I
there's
can't
the way that
personally see that.
the way things are set up that he will you know kick, clawing, dragged out, kicking and screaming. You
Tell you what,
like
he's
just
He's going to have to justify
there's very few people. Look at Netanyahu. Look at Biden. Like, with these people, once you have to relinquish power at that level in particular, it's Washington was a primary example. George Washington, I guess, of someone who was a model exemplary, and there, I suppose, have been others, throughout history for various reasons. Some in ancient Rome, high profile political insiders,
Well, we
senators, and so forth.
remember when Tony Blair resigned from his position as PM back in 2004.
George Washington.
He wanted to be a part of the UN. He wanted to be UN's ambassadors to Israel or something.
Oh yeah.
And then the UN's to Israel ambassadors to Israel or something. And then he created these to Israel.
Sorry about that. Every time we bring Telegram on, it kind of there's like an echo loop sort of deal. But carry on. So Blair, sure, he's been all over, wanting to remain as relevant and much of an institutional insider as possible.
Actually, this sort of once you stop being a leader and you find a good private sector's job with a big organization like the United
He was a guest. He's been lecturing at Yale University. You're aware of that, aren't you? He was. Yeah. That's like skull and bones, right? Total skull and bones. So you can bet that he's been rubbing shoulders with those Muppets. So yeah. But he's just I'm not a fan of the guy, and in fact I'm not a fan of most politicians whatsoever. Although, to be honest, and to be quite, open and sincere, that I will give them credit if I think they're doing something right in some area. I'll try, because it's this cult of personality is one of the big issues that is you find ever present within the realm of, politics or celebrities. And
I've
look
got
at
a question
Fauci for
for
crying out loud. Go ahead.
What's your thoughts about Ashley St. Clair, dude?
I've heard the name. What's their significance within the
she's supposedly she's supposedly the 13th baby's mama for Elon Musk, dude. He picked a really,
she's out
really
of Canada.
hot.
She's a Canadian pop star or something.
New York Post, man. She's a conservative, a conservative influencer is what they call her.
She's not okay. She's just this online social media.
I was watching a 20-minute thing earlier about this, and it looked like it was just she was trying to just do the old sort of chase the cash sort of trick.
Ashley Sinclair. What trick? She's out in the streets turning tricks. He's kicked her to the curb. Man. This is one of the world's wealthiest men, and now he's done that to his what do they call him? Mama.
Baby number 13, dude. Baby number 13.
And did you see that little X? That little brat that he brought into the White House. The kid, talk about a chip off the old block. The kid's like highly
didn't like
autistic.
that at all.
Got some major issues there.
I didn't like that at all. It's like using the child as a human shield.
Well, and did you hear what apparently he said? He went up to Trump and he said, he said, "You're not the real president. You need to leave real soon."
I tell you what, dude, you play freaking video games with a bunch of 5-6-year-olds on Minecraft, especially, and you'd be more than happy to freaking use them as a human shield. Okay.
Why is that?
Because, like, especially with Minecraft, dude, them kids are freaking horrible. They are freaking horrible. You know what? I don't like them when they get on that game because they'll come on there, man, and they will talk shit.
You're talking,
like
these are like little, like
adult.
10-year-old kids?
10-year-old kids, man, talking like a full-grown adult, telling you, look, man,
hang on,
you old fart, you need to get off here because you're slowing shit down. And that's how they say it, dude. I call it, they're referred to as griefers.
Griefers.
They're horrible.
Not grifters, but griefers. What?
Griefers.
Why are they griefers?
They're horrible.
Hold it. Okay, hang on a second. We just managed to pull up our peanut gallery. So if anyone has dropped in, we see a few people at this point, but keep your thoughts, questions, comments coming. Zane Ivey to begin with here, along with the whole host of lurkers, as it were. So that's it's good to see that we got people out there that are interested in connecting with us here and checking out the live stream. But better yet, log into Fakebook, YouTube, DLive, Telegram, and or let's not forget HomeNetwork.tv, although that's not a place that you really can log into as of yet. Ideally, I suppose Alan will get that up and running, and in a way where that is, more a thing, obviously. So, but here we go. Zane Ivey, why does Trump salute during the anthem rather than put his hand over his heart? That's a good question. I really don't know. I've never seen him. I've never.
Because he is commander-in-chief, and it signifies that he's there. It signifies that he's there in his military capacity.
Wait a minute. Who do we have here? We have somebody new. Who is this newbie?
Robert.
It is Robert Morningstar via Manhattan, USA. Well, Mr. Morningstar, welcome. It's good to have you on board here once again. How are you doing this fine evening?
I'm doing well. I put a link in the chat of the new Rumble video that we did yesterday, interviewing Katie Pasitnik, trying to save the 400 ostrich.
Thank you.
And I'd appreciate it if you'd all share it and try to save these animals. The whole story is in the interview that Jeffrey and I did last night.
Let's hear a little bit more about would you like me to give it my best shot? Or I've been doing enough talking already. You've just connected. Why don't we, if you don't mind, a sort of summary synopsis?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, what I picked up on, basically, we have this woman, and I guess her family. I wasn't clear on the actual arrangement on that level, other than her and her mother. She presumably is married with kids and whatnot. But 400 ostriches, and it is mind-blowing what they are attempting to do. The Castro regime, and let's not forget, he is in bed up to his eyeballs with Big Pharma. So now, is this the sort of thing that'll get us finding ourselves in hot water suddenly with boob tube? It wouldn't surprise me, but let's just see if we can kind of skirt around the issues as best we can in a way that doesn't lead to any major problems. So you have these 400 ostriches, and it turns out that they are supplying eggs. This is not for meat or anything like that, but eggs for, I guess, nutritional supplements and health products. Antigens
and antibodies that
Okay.
can cure COVID.
They
And
found. Yeah.
yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
usually this is done in a chicken egg.
Powerful stuff.
The ostrich egg is gigantic by comparison.
Yeah.
So
How many eggs does an ostrich have in a year?
Pardon me, Mark?
How many eggs does a average ostrich?
Good question. I don't know.
I'm guessing they're not prolific.
I'm not sure, but
chickens,
let Robert finish here.
Well,
This is
how many-
important. We'll come back to that in a moment.
I don't know how many eggs or eggs per month or how many they do at one time, but the fact is that they were making great advances in antigen and antibody research using this, and they had a conference with another company that was using chicken eggs, and the fellow acknowledged that their technique and the ostrich eggs was going to revolutionize that industry. So she was very happy about that. But shortly thereafter, she received a letter from the same person saying that his company had been bought and that he was no longer allowed to communicate with her and or exchange information. And shortly thereafter, the Canadian Animal Inspection Agency came to her farm or her ranch and demanded 2 dead ostriches for testing with PCR testing, which, as you will recall, was a procedure that was denounced by the inventor of PCR testing, Terry Mullis, because they were using it to diagnose the COVID virus, and he said that's not possible, that test is invalid. So they used that test to determine that they had avian flu, and they condemned the whole herd. And she points out that ostriches are really birds, that they are another species that she referred to as ratites.
Mm-hmm.
And so the court gave her a reprieve, but the Minister of Health overruled the judge, because in Canada, a judge can be overruled by a minister. So that's a legal argument that they're facing in court. So by Friday, there's supposed to be a determination. So Jaffe and I are helping Katie Pasitnik and her family. It is a family. Her grandfather started it when he imported some ostriches from Zimbabwe. And the picture that I have as the cover for our interview is a group of ostriches from Tanganyika. They're incredible birds. They can run as fast as a horse. And it's sad. You know, I have to emphasize everything I see about the global governments, the global elite, and Trudeau, and that the New World Order is a death cult. And they seem to be sacrificing everything and attacking the food supply incessantly. So I think I've taken this on as a mission, a crusade, at least to express our outrage at so much killing unnecessarily. Because, you know, folks, the avian flu is not lethal to all birds. It's like people, they get the flu, they either die or they get over it, and the weak ones are the ones that die.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's herd immunity.
There you go.
They're not allowing herd immunity to unfold in the population. And look, they went after the chickens. Biden had 100 million chickens killed last year. Another farmer this year was ordered to kill 2.5 million chickens. There's the egg crisis. Eggs are disappearing from shelves, and chicken on the dinner table. They're attacking the food supply, and we have to expose it. So thanks for listening, and please help Katie Pasitnik and her family. We have to let's let her push this video and tell people about it.
I'd like to have Laura Lee Potvin speak to her. Someone who yourself will be connecting with here in a couple of days. It may be after. It'll be interesting, just if only as a follow-up, because I think the judgment, the ruling. Now, this is the ruling as to whether the federal government minister, which she said they're sort of flip-flopping around, sort of a
Yeah.
hide and seek game where it's like, is it this minister who's actually in charge or two
Yeah,
other
they're-
ones?
the
Which
name.
one?
They don't reveal themselves publicly. They just stated that it was a minister of health. So it's very convoluted, as is Canadian law, as from my perspective. So that's what I have to say. I really have to go because
Okay.
I'm playing
Chess.
nurse to a friend who's indisposed, and I'll be back soon.
Thank you,
So
Robert.
thanks a
Well,
lot.
okay.
Thank
Happy
you.
sailing.
And thank you for the show last night. Well,
Yeah.
Hot Network TV, our shows are repeated at 2 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday on homenetwork.tv. You might check in. We use a lot more content, visual content in the video broadcast than just the radio show. So good night, folks.
Thanks,
Thanks
Robert. Happy sailing. Okay.
Bye.
So I'm really glad that he dropped in, and because that was one of the talking points actually that I was wanting to bring up tonight. Another is something I've got here waiting in the wings. We also covered. This is going to be a good one, folks. We have a little bit of video material that we may start sharing with the public during the course of our weekly news streams from time to time. We don't want it to be the main focus because I think the dialogue, the back and forth between roundtable members and the public is really most valuable. It can ultimately prove to be very helpful, powerful. It's sort of why we're here to stimulate, to ignite, fuel more of an open dialogue, and thus fulfilling our mandate, essentially, serving as a service to the public, free, listener supported. We really emphasize that in a big way. We definitely, need your help on all fronts. But if we can just continue to have this live stream make it to the airwaves as it does on this scheduled basis, then even within the context, in the face of all these challenges, that because as Robert pointed out, there is a war. It's what I refer to as World War VI, maybe VII, if you will, the war on humanity. It's asymmetrical, and where the powers that be essentially are taking a full spectrum dominance approach, and right down to every last little nanoparticulate, to the point where really, well, they alter. It's spiritual on many levels as well, I would argue, and perhaps that's partly where we're going to see that highlighted, at least from one angle, is with the two videos that we have here waiting in the queue. So the first of which, we'll maybe get to the comments here first, but they're actually ET related. And as you can imagine, within the context of this ongoing disclosure business, things are probably going to get more interesting for a growing number of people here on the earth, as far as there no longer being any doubt whatsoever that we are not the only planet with life, you know, such as ours, human form or otherwise, that is being supported. And which I think is a really ignorant way of seeing things to begin with. I mean, and just totally absurd and ridiculous, frankly. So I mean, you look at the cosmos as it is, the universe with all of those stars out there. Is everybody up to speed on what the stars actually are said to entail? Another word for stars. Nobody knows what those stars actually are? Really? Well, they're suns.
Not sure.
They're suns.
Okay,
That's
yeah, yeah,
supposedly what
yeah,
they are, right? So,
yeah.
and which is something that I'm endlessly just reflecting on. That really kind of helps to drive home the fact that why should we be alone? It's such a vast, not only galaxy, but the universe as it is, and beyond, obviously. So, including the the fact supposedly that there's a who knows how many countless dimensions that actually exist, throughout the cosmos
And
in
enough, I was
various
talking about,
capacities.
funny enough, I was talking about string theory earlier. I was having a
Yeah.
discussion with someone there about string theory.
Uh-huh.
A couple of hours ago.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's
Yeah,
get.
sorry.
What in a nutshell, then, briefly, because I like to get the comment section and queue up these videos and take a commercial break.
It was a fairly random string. It was a random discussion. It was
Oh yeah.
all over the place.
Recently, with the Minds Roundtable show, or what exactly?
Oh no, it was just like a discussion with somebody we were live.
Oh, I see. Well, there's some quantum, yeah, like nanoparticulates and what do you call it? Like, what kind of physics are we talking there? Quantum physics, I guess, right?
Quantum physics, yeah.
But also
quantum physics.
What kind of physics?
I don't think nano is considered quantum, actually. It's just considered very small.
Nano?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I think there's a distinction.
Okay. All right. So, but here's the thing. Like I was doing this recently for a year. I had a year-long contract with the local sort of kindergarten, basically kids age 5 to 7 or 8. If just they kind of keep track of their ages a little differently here in Korea, where when you're born, you're actually seen as 1 year old, right? When you pop out of your mommy's tummy. Sonia's giving a funny look, but think about it, Sonia. Where does life begin? Does your life really just begin when you pop out of your mommy's tummy, or is it maybe at the point of conception? At which
depends on certain legal definitions.
Well,
depends on
the embryo
legalities of your
jurisdiction. You start to grow in your mommy's tummy, mommy and daddy making love, making babies, and there the little baby starts to grow. And it's not a year, it's 9 months usually when it pops out, right? And so there you go, you're a year old.
This is the thing that gets me annoyed about the US abortion argument. That was in news a couple last year. So is in the UK. I was talking to somebody on Minds, but just not so long ago. In the UK, there is a definition of when a baby or a fetus becomes a baby, a human, which is 26 weeks into gestation, and therefore from 26 weeks onwards they deserve human rights. And
is that what you believe, Mark? You believe that it's really that life begins at 6 weeks?
Yeah, that's the legal definition.
But do you believe that? You buy into that?
Yeah.
So you don't think conception has anything to do with it then?
I completely agree with the UK law. One of the few UK laws.
Before the 6 weeks, there's not a human in the making then before 6 weeks.
That's a difference there. I'm not talking in the making. I'm talking about is that entity
separate from the law, Mark. Separate from the law.
Yeah. We're trying.
This
I'm
is
trying to
all
get it
about
here.
the lawgiver.
It's all hung up.
The lawgiver.
Das ist the way we do things, yeah. Let's keep it within the lines.
Yeah.
There's no, you don't draw there's no crayons on outside the box. Keep it. It's inside the box. The legal box only.
That's
Okay.
like a popular accent now. Like everybody's doing that voice now. Like
That's about
It's not about what they tell you, it's about what you feel inside.
Indeed.
Jeez.
you know the world free explains it all.
If you,
know.
Yeah,
You know
smart.
that.
Keep it. Yeah. We have to keep things rolling along here because we should be cutting away the commercial break here shortly. We got a couple of videos we'd like to queue up as well too. Do you think that should we do the videos? I think we should save them for after the break. These it's regarding Eisenhower's. Well, first of all, Albert Einstein, an intern basically, for lack of a better way of describing her role, that she interned with Einstein and was in 1947 taken to Roswell to view and discuss the crash and what the wreckage along with the entities that the alien life forms that were found.
The titties.
Pardon me?
Titties.
And titties.
And titties. There were. That's one of the kind of things that differentiates us from the aliens is there are no titties. They're very sexless as far as the story goes. Very androgynous.
So the aliens don't have titties?
Well, not the way that we do. No.
I think it depends on the species, really.
Let me exactly, and just to think, like, there's got to be just incalculable in number.
I don't want nothing to do with them if they ain't got no titties, dude. I'm a titty man.
Yeah. So let me just these other last comments here. David Charles, good to see you dropping by, connecting with us here, David. Would you, if you want, we can add you to the group. It's been a while, Mr. Waldo Charles. So be happy to have you join us here in Skype and get an update as to your health, of course, everything that's been taking place via, I think it's Missouri. That's the Show Me State, isn't it? Sonia, Roger, I think it's the Show Me State. That's where
Missouri is the Show Me State. Yeah, and I also want to correct myself on one thing I said too. You know how I told you guys about that UFO crash that happened in Carbondale before Roswell?
Where?
That was actually in Cape Girardeau, which is just across the river, the Ohio.
We had some friends. We had some friends that were actually supporting the show for a couple of years before going off and getting married. They were based out of Cape Girardeau, and I looked at her picture actually. Pretty easy on the eyes, as it were, but there was something about it where just that hybrid kind of vibe, really kind of picking up on that. Could have been an overly active imagination on my part, but yeah, she some sort of hybrid type, as I think probably all of us really are to one.
Which hybrid though? Are they
humans?
Are you talking about Pleiadian?
Yeah, she would be something more like that, like a sort of Nordic, I guess.
Yeah, Pleiadian.
Yeah.
Now those Pleiadian hybrids, those are the hot ones. Those are the ones you want to get with.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm sure that with pickup lines such as that, Roger, you do really well with
They're
them
Nordic,
too,
dude.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You say something like that to a Nordic somebody. Like, hey, baby, how you doing? They're on it, dude, and they're gonna be taller and bigger, so they're gonna pick you up and carry you everywhere, dude. You'll be like a baby in a.
Sonia, do you really think? What do you think Roger's chances of hooking up with a
Hold on a minute. She has to sign it back in.
Oh, man,
but think about it. They're like tall too. They're tall Nordics. So what it's basically is they're gonna rock you to sleep at night like a baby. You know what I mean?
All right.
And you're gonna
enough of the infantile sexual fantasies, and put those on hold for the moment. David Charles, I currently don't have Skype or Zoom. Living in Malden, just 45 miles south of Cape Girardeau, is what he tells us here via the Peanut Gallery. So he's connecting with us through Fakebook. There's, of course, D Live, just as a reminder, YouTube, Telegram, and HomeNetwork.tv, which does not have anything in the way of chat, feature in place at the moment. So, but as far as the comments here, just wrapping things up before cutting away to commercial break. The Globetards are a death cult, says Zane Ivy. They're still jealous of Stalin, Mao, and Pol Pot's record of homicide. That we can do better. Yes, we can, as Obama, the great slogan yet. Hope and change. Yes, we can. So Courtney Brown, a prominent social scientist and remote viewing expert, has sparked intrigue with claims about his daughter, who he describes as an extraterrestrial hybrid. This concept is explored in his project with the Farsight Institute, where he details interactions with a female hybrid aboard an alien ship. Okay. Wouldn't be surprising if that were the case. It's easier to kill 1 million people than control 1 million people. Zbigniew Brzezinski. Well, he was quite a maniac, wasn't he? Good old Zbigniew. One of I think he was Jimmy Carter's top foreign policy advisors back in the day. So no fan of Russia whatsoever. As memory serves, he was of Polish national extract. I'm not sure anything more. That would. And his daughter. Let's not forget what is her name? Mika, I guess. Her and what a terrible. The two of them with was it Morning Joe? They're just awful. I mean, they are just awful. Like you think, like no wonder the left, as it were, and you rarely hear me frame things in this sort of way, but no wonder they're floundering with these sort of mouthpieces, the Mockingbird mouthpieces, supposedly having the kind of influence and impact in shaping people's opinions, thoughts as far as their interpretation, take on the issues and of the day, and so forth. But it's also interesting to note that with Trump's recent the 2024 landslide, essentially, they were some of the first really prominent media insiders to cave in and want to sort of I don't know, make amends or do what they could to suck back up to Trump. Visiting, they couldn't have headed down to Mar-a-Lago any faster, it seems, following the decisive victory. So just terrible people, the just ugly Americans, unfortunately. And speaking of which, has everyone had a chance to see the animated series Ugly Americans? Is really quite it was really funny, really entertaining. So it's Karma Love in the house. Hey Karma, hey, great to have you on board. Always a lot of fun. Little chocolate love coming our way there via Florida. Chocolate pirate love. Yeah, Florida, USA. Good stuff, hot stuff. So, so you've put your. She's calling you Mr. Handsome, Roger. You've actually appeared on camera for her. You've done like a little bit of cyber sort of stuff.
She's one of the two people I've actually done an interview with or she did an interview on me, and well,
Yeah.
three I think. And the thing of it was that she was the second one, and the only problem with it was we never were able to get it recorded.
Oh, so you messed up. I guess it had a technical snafu.
I didn't mess up. But I'm gonna leave that alone. I didn't mess up.
Always make sure you got a backup. Yeah, as far as recording.
There was two of us there, and it was not my mistake that time.
Okay.
That's where I always say to you, always try and keep a offline recording.
Yeah, which reminds me, I mean, we are currently archiving things here via OBS, while live streaming through the various platforms that we've referenced. At the same time, we'll be doing a little in the way of post-production, the compression of the larger files as they appear here on the computer. But yes, there have been times where the OBS has kind of crapped the bed, taken a nap, and we've had to resort to trying to rip something via YouTube or Fakebook. D Live, I'm not sure if Rumble ever did, but D Live for a time, they would actually they would keep your shows in a little sort of mini library for a few days, but that is no longer something that they offer, unfortunately. So what can you do? But what we can do right now actually is transition away, cue up the commercial break, the promo spots that we have here running in support of both Red Dragon Herbs and Teas and the CannaSense Cannabis Collective. We're always on the lookout, the hunt for more sponsors. We talked to Galactic Fire here, courtesy of Sonia. I mean, why not? She offers a great line of products, not least of which are the pirate T-shirts, coffee mugs, and the like that she's helped to produce and get out there in support of our efforts. So remember, the purchase of which, as far as the profit is concerned, half goes directly back to the community, the collective coffers for supporting the public throughout the course of the year, where where things, we have people reach out to us from time to time when they find themselves in really dire straits. And not that we're exactly ourselves here with, as it is, we take, a lot of people aren't aware of this, but we take time off of work in the real world to do this show. So this is one of the reasons why we don't talk about this enough. But yeah, it's really critical that we have some support in whatever manner people can manage the course. It really does help. It really means a lot. And without it, we there really are no guarantees or promises that we're going to be able to continue to do this, and quite seriously. So but we're going to do everything in our power to prevail, and these antagonistic winds that we're up against, basically, and face, as far as the high intrepid high digital seas are concerned, within the context of this asymmetrical war, the war on humanity, World War, I guess it's 5, really. 6 was the Ukraine, 7 Gaza. You can, whatever number you choose to apply. 8, who knows what they have in store for us next year. But the intent, as far as I can tell of the global elite is to continue to engage in bloodshed, essentially murder, most foul, whatever it takes to keep the beast sufficiently satisfied. The military industrial complex, the technokraken, tentacles of which include big pharma, big media, big tech, obviously, big government, the military arm, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, beware the technokraken, folks. Remember, as always, that there's no doubt there is a war, and it's a lot different than what most people think. It is a war for your mind. It's always been a war for hearts and minds, all down through history. Things are no different in that sense. The slave shall serve is how the OTO, that is basically is their end goal, and I think we're seeing that slowly. Actually, even a little more than that. Picking up speed now here in earnest, exponentially, perhaps even with the with technology, of course, and just gaming the system. You look at the wealth. They say that money is power, and the concentration of wealth in the hands of so few. The billionaire tech bros is one clear example. Obviously, the way that I'm not sure if their word is divest necessarily, but just work to diversify their portfolios. Obviously, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So that's Darwin's top number one rule of thumb, essentially, when it comes to survival of a species. Do not put all your eggs in one basket to the point where you're just relying on one feature or quality in order to survive. Otherwise, there's a good chance you'll find yourself either weakened or completely going extinct. So, but yeah, thanks for the comments, Sonia, Karma Love, Roger, Zane, David, Charles, and any others that we may have missed out on from the top of the show. All right, Red Dragon Herbs and Teas. With any order of $25 or more, you will immediately receive a 10% discount. How cool is that? All you simply have to do is let Ryan know one of two things, either simply Pirate Radio or Pirate Code on the CannaSense Cannabis Collective front. Our referral code is 5813. 5813. Take a look at their great inventory, all of the products and supplies that they have available. Whatever you find manages to suit your health needs. Kind of like the way that we recently picked up this arnica, as a matter of fact. Pretty happy with the results so far. The cream and the dissolvable little kind of meltaways, I guess is what they're called. You put under your tongue, directly enter into your bloodstream, and get to work in fulfilling their mission. So we'll be back here in just a flash, folks. Do not touch either that radio dial or computer mouse.
Medical cannabis is now legal by telemedicine. Get the medicine you need by getting reviewed for a medical cannabis card. Contactless appointments available at Cannasense.com. For as low as $39, you can get reviewed for a medical cannabis card. That's Cannasense.com for a licensed medical cannabis doctor review. Cannasense.com has all the information you need to get connected with a doctor for a $39 medical cannabis appointment. Cannasense.com. Cannasense is common sense.
Catering exclusively to the Des Moines, Iowa area and beyond, Red Dragon Herbs and Teas is a small, family-owned business dedicated to the creation of only the finest quality artisan herbal tea blends. Drawing upon many of the world's most richly established customs and traditions, Red Dragon Herb's mission is about more than just getting their products out to the market. They also strive to help educate their customers on the wider benefits, history, and folklore of all their plants. Of course, any seasoned pirate knows when they're fixin' to tango with the Kraken, you best be powered up with at least one of the finest select quality premium items freely offered via Red Dragon Herbs and Teas wide inventory. Choosing from any of their caffeine-free, headache relief, or rest and relaxation blends, history has proven their products among the best sources of scurvy prevention and vitamin supplementation. Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief.
Ahoy, Captain Sinclair. I hope your ship is well. That only Jolly Roger has been through hell. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. In the heat digital high seas, we travel with ease until we reach the outer.
Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief. Welcome back, everybody. It is the final hour, approximately, to what we have left here, in support of this week's live stream show segment number 307, World Pirate Radio News. Myself, your host, as always, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. We've got a great group here on board that are helping to contribute to the commentary, analysis, and content, really, that we are producing this week. So we have a couple videos we're going to queue up here momentarily, but before we do that, just anything that managed to come to mind or that we've maybe missed out on to this point that you would like to address, whether Roger, Mark, or Sonia, and let's not forget, with all the, we had as many as 10 people out there at one point, actually, via the live peanut gallery end of things. Too many lurkers, unfortunately, but that's okay. These people taking the time and making the effort, wanting to drop by and check out what we've got shaking here down in Skullport Harbor. So, but yeah, have at it, folks. Anything that that came to mind, or you think that we've missed out on to this point that you reckon we should address before the show's end. Everyone's gone silent for some reason. Roger's muted out. Sonia's muted out. Maybe they've stepped away for a smoke break or gone off to the bathroom. Who knows what exactly. Well, Mark's back. Did you hear what was going down there, Mark, and what I was just kind of?
Yes, I got logged out.
Do you have anything to offer or contribute before I queue up these videos?
Bye. Say that again.
Do you have anything to offer or contribute as far as thoughts are concerned?
I'm sorry. No. Did you hear about this Australian anti-Semitic nurses story this week?
What does that mean?
Anti
what?
A number of you have got to watch the video. It's been big news in UK and Australia about some anti-Semitic professional nurses, state nurses, I presume, were being filmed being extremely racist.
What do you mean anti-Semitic? What is Semitic exactly?
Well, let's just say they were saying that if they wouldn't treat this Jewish person going in, and if they did, they would kill him.
Oh, so it has to do something with, it's more just in criticizing Jewish people then? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
So rather than saying maybe Semitic, it would be best because, most Jews are not Semites and most Semites are not Jewish, right? And then there's a whole region of which there's an anti-Semitic genocide taking place right now in Gaza. And that's part of the reason why we decided to run with the promotional, splash photo that we did this go round. So it just kind of, I'm being somewhat, just to be clear, to be very clear, because
I say anti-Semitic.
Well, look, here's the thing.
I say anti-Semitic because that's what mainstream media sort of.
Yeah, well, I try not to parrot the sort of the programming that we are spoon-fed, right? I kind of look at it a little more critically, and say anti. If you want to say anti-Jewish, that's fine, or anti-Israel, okay. But Semitic is something completely different. In fact, it's a term that has been subverted, undermined, and politicized in a big way. You'll hear me talk about that time and again here. I try to be as clear as possible, where it's used for political reasons in order to, once again, to hoodwink people, to to deceive them essentially and distract them. Now, I'm not sure why that is, other than it's helping to work in perpetuating the big lie. Because as I mentioned, it's offensive to most Semites too, frankly, where this term I think is the word absconded with. It's like, they did it with the swastika, they do it with that term Aryan or Aryanism. Look at the peace sign, the peace sign, that's like the way it's you're supposed to turn that the other way around so it catches the good luck like a horseshoe. You don't want to turn down so it's losing all of its value, the that the bountiful harvest of good luck that
intentional once again. I mean, that's the whole,
it's like really irritating.
That's the whole thing about the, in any way you can do the symbolism,
Sure, and that's
to adversely affect folks.
Yeah. So a total and mess with their heads and completely, so that we're programmed. They call it programming for a reason. You'll never hear me use that term. Programming. Followers as well. You'll never hear me refer to people out there that engage us, that support us, that listen as followers. Why? Because it's too cultish.
Right. How about broadcasting?
What's wrong with that?
The broadcasting, it's like a cast of a spell.
What would you prefer? Bitch casting? How about that? How about bitch casting?
Yeah, well, that's a little different, I guess, but it's still casting. Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Talking about casting a spell. Sure.
Yeah,
That's a
broadcasting.
great point. I never thought
Broadcasting
that.
programming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they have. What we're basically a part of these days with the digital underground, live streaming underground, is narrowcasting. I was first turned on to this back during my university days and journalistic pursuits, journalism studies, whereas mostly I was all about print, where at the time, if I had been thinking, I maybe should have been more inclined to do something, like in the radio sense of things, work on developing a voice and personality and this authentic nonsense. I guess authenticity is good. It might be, in fact, really essential to our wellness and our in fulfilling our mission here on earth. Because so often people who are thinking that, like Socrates talked about, the unexamined life is not worth living. We stop and ask ourselves, why are we here? Where have we come from? Where are we now? Like, where are we going? Where we come from? Why are we here? Where are we going? And
do you think that could have something to do with Creative Commons? Like, have you put other people's videos on there without talking?
That's Mark. This is Mark's bailiwick. He's the guy that has more to offer, and he's the expert in this field. I could not tell you anything about. I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of that. So why don't you enlighten me? Let's hear a little bit regarding, because I could do creative, like international attribution is what I with our videos. We just, rather than Creative Commons. I don't know what's the difference.
I've told you about the videos that I had to delete on the Wonderful World of Weirdness, right? I had to delete all those, and the reason why is because John didn't take time to talk while he's putting the videos on there. He just
John who?
He would use John, my partner on there.
Your partner?
Yeah, John Clark is the co-owner.
Oh, the old John.
Old John, yeah.
But
now he did like thousands of videos of all these other like ghost sightings and UFOs and stuff, but he never once took time to freaking go in there and talk while he did it.
Are you talking about? Oh, I see. So what you're saying is the with the transformative or transitional to provide more of it. Is it transformative or transitional? Transformative, so that you're changing.
It needs comments. Yeah,
right.
It needs commentary.
Right. And then that's more for.
I hate. Dislike those sort of videos. I've seen a lot of them, and actually I've seen a few good ones. But yeah. You need to add something extra to the content.
Okay.
And not
Name drop
back.
All right. Well, what I'll do, I'll tell you. In fact, I've got some music here, and I know Sonny's been talking to us for a while. I've been wanting to do this, and then like spice things up a little bit. In fact, she was doing the tarot over the course of a few episodes. I thought it was great. And we've got some music here, though, that, in fact, we opened. It was Purple Rain, Springsteen's cover of Purple Rain, which I've been listening to the guy for years. And if I think he sucks when he's doing something, which he has, like Dylan's, what did he do at the White House? It was like a sort of, he did Chimes of Freedom. If anyone, I'm sure there's got to be a few Dylan fans out there who know. I'm sorry, it wasn't Times. It was Times Are A-Changing, and he could have done a way better job. A different key, probably. It's just the key, probably was what it is. It wasn't suited to his voice. I just kind of it's painful to watch, but with this Purple Rain, oh my God, like he nailed it. Like he's just wow, I've never heard anyone cover that song any better, other than Prince himself, obviously. And the reason he played it was as a memorial, to kind of tribute, salute to the man himself. The
What year
purple
will
one.
this be?
Pardon
What
me?
year?
This is just
What year?
this is the last couple of years of just following, on the heels of Prince's demise, which is what, 2017.
Yeah, I was going to say 6, 7,
Okay.
6.
By the way, did we ever find
Maybe.
out when exactly that Summer of Love was? I think it was 2000, as we were talking about last show, 2019. 19. It was all the chaos that, then there was the whole Corona apocalypse nonsense that was completely played up to the max. And let's not forget, with these eugenicists, this is a big deal. China being tapped and chosen essentially to lead the new world in the 21st century. The weaponization of the food supply, of our education system, of water, fluoridation of water, of the air. What are those chemtrails doing up there? What are they all about? There's been a breakdown of the particulates, the aerosol components, and so forth. So they're hitting us from all sides here, frankly. And it just the big pharma, where and here's the thing: look at those ostrich eggs. See, too good to be true. Remember that, folks. Too good to be true. Or, if you want to put it another way, a must be, or must not be. So the feds were all over that woman and her farm, Ostrich Katie, and her farm out of, I think it's like southeastern British Columbia. She was telling us this the other day. It's a place I'd never really heard of before. Edge. Was it Edgewood or Edgewater or Edge something or another? It's really kind of remote, small, in the middle of nowhere, frankly, just southeast region of the province. If I got my geography, approximate to the region in focus, but I never grew up anywhere near there because I was more like a central interior product. But yeah, okay. Well, hey, let's see if we can bring someone new to the conversation. But was it Mark? Did you have something you wanted to add, or go ahead?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Well, when you're not, then make sure, folks, when you're not speaking, if you have nothing to say, just keep your mics turned off. Otherwise, I'm going to be led to think that there's something that you've got ready to go. Oh, God. What is Sonya doing? Is that Purple Rain? It's coming through really awfully.
Yeah.
Go ahead, let it play. But you'll have to sing along if we're going to make this in any way.
All right, here we go.
What's it called? Transitional?
See you in the smoky room.
Oh, not bad.
Cheap perfume.
Oh, good. That's good.
Share the night. It goes on and on and on.
Key.
Yeah, I know. It's not the best speakers.
Keep going.
Yeah.
What the hell is Twin Cam? You can get.
I don't really know all the words or anything.
Well,
I've only heard it 50,000 times.
I suppose. That's Journey.
I got a better one though.
Interesting.
How about AC/DC? You should be on that now. Just kidding. I don't like AC/DC.
Yeah. One of their. I'm okay with AC/DC. They're overplayed basically at the expense of so many other great musical artists. But the one like Lemmy was part of it was like a tribute sort of deal before he passed away. Obviously, you can't really. I guess they can do it AI now. After the fact.
Sure.
But it was it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Like what a great song that is, so check it out, the version. We might bring it up here at some point I'm going to cue up some of the music we got here, as a matter of fact.
I thought you said Lemmy.
I
Are you
did,
talking
yeah,
about
Lemmy.
Motorhead or ACDC?
Yeah, Lemmy was covering because listen close now.
Okay.
It was a tribute project with Lemmy from Motorhead, the former great legendary frontman, and he joined AC/DC and a number of other mostly hard rocking talent from around the world before he passed away. It was like called a tribute to the Godfather of metal, I believe, Lemmy. So hey, look who showed up here in a very odd sort of way as far as this camera is concerned. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Rather,
kind of.
that is a head scratcher, isn't it? But it's great to see him still alive and kicking. What would be even better is if we can.
You're just sideways, is all.
If we get our bloody chat going here. So, David Charles, way out Waldo. It's been a while, my friend. Yeah. How are things going? You're looking good.
Let me see if I can get this thing on.
Eat the mic. We hear you.
Am I on?
We hear you. Eat the mic. Yep.
Well, this is my tablet, and I've never been on with the tablet before, so I'm just now trying to figure out how to use this Skype on the tablet.
Right.
What's up with everything?
Well, were you listening to the live stream there from the sidelines just over the past little while? It seemed like you were. Any thoughts as far as the issues that we've hit upon? We're going to be queuing up a couple of really interesting ET-related videos, one of which deals with Einstein's, one of his former interns that he had. I'm not sure if you picked up on that or not, but she accompanied him down to the Roswell region of I guess New Mexico back in 1947 when the crash took place. Is and so I mean, was this it's just one more feather in the disclosure cap as far as driving home the fact that of course we're not alone. What a stupid thought that is. It's ridiculous. But the thing about it too, with wider disclosure, be careful what you wish for. That would be my kind of main caveat, because you might, who knows what. I think there's an intergalactic confederacy, and there are these maybe overlapping treaties. It's kind of like along the lines of what Star Trek kind of sort of laid out for us, basically, between the planets and the various people, species, and whatnot. What is everybody else's thoughts before we get the videos rolling
here? If you're talking about aliens, sure, there might be intelligent life out there.
Maybe.
Will we ever meet them? Are they in such a distance that we can get to them, or they can get to us?
Yeah, not with the technology we have right now, although apparently there was a deal struck between during the Eisenhower presidency. What would that be? Circa 54. Grenada. I think it's called the Treaty of Grenada.
Yeah.
So look into that, people. It's really quite interesting. We'll be hearing a little bit more about that here with the course of these videos. So, and it lasts altogether. It's like 20 some odd minutes if memory serves. So people hopefully try to be a little patient. But I tell you, I was captivated when the one in particular we were able to hear for the first time yesterday on Robert's show, the Morning Star Report, which I'm fortunate enough to have been invited to appear as a co-host on every Monday night. Yeah, Monday evening, 10 p.m. For a couple of hours, usually is the deal there. So let's see if we got that camera set up properly. I'd like to come on for the wider listening world, just because people, they crave the eye candy. So, here's the visage, folks, the visage that you've been you've been desiring, wanting to have in front of you for so long. Face behind the mysterious voice. David, you've seen me. You see me in the archive content we've been putting out there, probably, yeah. So, but let's hear more from you. I mean, geez, it's been a while. Come on, like, how have things been going? Your health is stabilized. You're back. Are you back with at your sister's place? It looks like that's the same backdrop you've got there as before. What's the latest? Besides your mic being muted.
Muted, yeah.
Yeah, you have to take care of that. It's the little yellow icon usually on the bottom left, although you might have a different setup there.
Blue,
So
blue.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. This was Sonya again.
Just to get away.
Well, sing it. Come on.
Right, baby?
Thank you, I'm muted.
David, go ahead.
What's going on?
Yeah, and what's
we're out from the farm. We're living in town now. We're living in a nice little small house. This room that I'm currently in now is a lot smaller than the room that I was living in over there at the farm. Let's see, my health is doing okay, other than the fact that we've probably by now got maybe 4 or 5 inches of snow on the ground. It started snowing about 4 o'clock.
How are the chemtrails?
5 degrees. What's that? How
are the chemtrails? Are you still being targeted? Are they dumping on you pretty heavily still?
Well, actually, they're in the process of hopefully getting rid of that. Tennessee, Missouri, Iowa, and about 13 other states are putting into the Senate of each one of those states to stop all of that chemtrail crap going on. But
how will we got to save the planet, man. Oh my God, everyone, it's climate change. Got to spray in order to save the planet, right? Global warming, man-made global
Mother
warming.
Nature goes through this crap every 2,500 years, whether we help and participate in it in any way whatsoever.
Yeah. I agree. Now, is this the sort of thing that can have you taken down off a boob tube? Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, once you start this issue, that issue, the election, don't question that. You can't question the science on COVID. The science is settled. Listen to the WHO. They're the experts, and so on and so forth. The Ukraine, got to side with Ukraine. Don't say anything positive about Putin. Like, you could just end this list of ridiculous things that once the ball gets rolling, that's what they've done, essentially. It's Pandora's box. So, and not the one probably that Roger fantasizes over all night when he's off, sailing around in the astral realm. Right, Roger? Pandora's box?
I'm talking to 2 women about the things I like to eat.
Ooh. Box lunches.
Okay.
You know it. Box lunches. Big time, baby.
Oh, my God. Oh, geez. You're a pirate, all right. You're a scurvy dog. What a scurvy dog, scoundrel.
That's hilarious.
So, look, okay. Anything more, David? Because we're going to queue up this video. It's really, I'm glad because you've been contributing so much in the Fakebook chat end of things, the different chat groups with quality links and so forth. So, and thank you for that update. So, name those states again. You said Tennessee, Missouri, your home state, is that right? And a couple of others that are these initiatives to an end to the chemtrailing, the geoengineering.
Iowa is Joshua Huckle State. Tennessee, Kentucky, Iowa, of course, Illinois. They ain't doing crap because that governor there is totally against everything that Trump's doing at the moment. But hopefully, when the Senate comes back together or whatever, but between all of these states, they're going to try to get rid of cloud seeding, chemtrail, any kind of geoengineering, and there are some farmers unions here in Missouri that are also looking more into the permaculture aspect of farming instead of this genetically modified BS that we're going through now.
Well, you know that Bill Gates is not going to appreciate any of this, right? Things with the tide shifting, then that's not in his favor, is it?
Yeah, I was just going to mention Bill Gates being a big lobbyist.
Koreans are clueless, man. You mentioned Bill Gates, they think he's a real hero. They think he's just wonderful, you know, mostly because he's rich and everybody. He actually came and he spoke before the Korean, you know, Parliament here, Congress, just during the height of the whole scamdemic. I just speaking of lunches, I wanted to you know to vomit, basically, have my lunch, just, you know, purge from, you know, just out on the floor. Terrible. And the way that people are so dumbed down.
Sorry, I was going to say, Bill Gates seems to have the keys to number 10 Downing Street.
Recently?
He's had quite a few meetings.
Sure. President Z, remember? Like he loves him, and Z are quite chummy.
Sorry.
We're gonna bring up we're, you know, just I guess birds of a feather. You know, it's all a big club, isn't it? So it's one big club, and
there is some news too. He brought up Pritzker, and there's something everybody should know.
That fat governor of yours?
Yeah, he has officially renamed Lake Michigan to Lake Illinois.
He's not. Well, that's a white Anglo-Saxon surname, is it? It's like British Anglo-Saxon.
He's a shill.
He's not Jewish. He's not Jewish by chance, is he?
He actually works for the frickin' Crown family here in Illinois.
But he's not. He's a Jewish billionaire, isn't he? Pritzker.
Pritzker. I don't.
That sounds. Look it up, man. Look it up. So
if he's Jewish, he's going against his beliefs, because I guarantee you, he's eating pork, dude.
Well, but there's a lot of the worst kind of the people of that lot are the secular atheists. They're the most dangerous and just awful. So whether in fact that had anything to do with our recently being shut down over on Fakebook yet again, just losing another feature that we had formerly available to the public, the World Pirate Radio News chat group, you know, the online where you can freely share links, all sorts of content and so forth. Now gone, essentially, not taken offline, but just frozen in time. So we do have the private chat approach and angle, though, so they're really driving us underground here, in a big way, even more underground than we were in the past year, unfortunately. So, and it gets to be a little exhausting, a little tiring, frankly, having to see, because it's kind of contrary to enlightenment, actually. With enlightenment, I was talking to the wife about this the other day. First, I'll ask you, like anyone, just what do you think when it comes to enlightenment? What is it exactly? How would you define it? Keep it brief, if you would, too. Some people get really quite overly long-winded. Karma is another good one. It's like endlessly going on in 5-10 minutes trying to talk about karma when it's all boils down to one simple word. But enlightenment?
I would have to say enlightenment would be simply knowing something suddenly knowing something you didn't know before, maybe.
Okay. Anybody else?
Isn't that what I would expect from a dictionary? That's more of a dictionary definition. Enlightenment, less knowledgeable.
Oh, sorry, what? One more time?
Less knowledge.
Less knowledge?
Or more knowledge. Oh, knowledge.
More or less? More or less.
More.
More? Are you familiar with the term less is more?
Yeah.
Do you know? Have you heard that one? Less is more.
Indeed.
Okay.
I mentioned that to somebody earlier.
Okay. Good.
Something.
Good.
Actually,
I
used that earlier.
I certainly have heard less is more, and that really applies to tattoo appointment. Just saying.
Yeah, that's the Asian kind of aesthetic, as well. It seems like with their way of the artistic approach. So sure, the silence is golden, I guess. But congratulations. Unfortunately, with these live streams, without anything in the way of commentary or content, that
I just think that it's a play on words, to be honest.
Enlightenment.
It's just a play on
kind
words.
of like Semitic.
Well, I mean, like if you take a look at it, because I get into writing and stuff, and if you take a look at the word enlightenment, they say that it's also similar to understanding and then wisdom. And when you start learning about those two things, there's a difference between having understanding and having wisdom. You know what I'm saying? You gain understanding from learning, and then you have wisdom from, life experiences and stuff of that nature.
Okay.
So,
right. Well, enlightenment has to do too with shedding light on something kind of thing.
Ah, okay.
Whereas before it was dark, meaning not known.
There you go. And that's very compatible, kind of dovetails with the whole guru term. Guru literally meaning from out of the dark and into the light. Freemasons probably all over that one, because with each of their initiation rituals, it's all about show me the light, show me the light.
You know that they have like AI cults out now, right? Like cults that worship freaking artificial intelligence and stuff.
Wouldn't be surprising. The flat Earth thing's got to run its course. Mandela effect kind of got to some other new psyop.
From what I've heard about as far as the AI God thing goes, apparently our reptilian friends, apparently, not all of them, obviously, more of the Draco or the Alpha Draconius types that's their thing, is the AI God. From what I've heard. Mm-hmm.
According to who are your sources on that?
Well, there's tons of folks who say that. I'm not sure exactly who, but that's kind of the common.
David Wilcock.
Mostly.
No, I don't think I heard that from him actually.
Okay.
I've heard it mostly from the remote viewing.
I was just curious. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, Corey Good was one of the guys I heard that from. Now that I think about it.
Well, are they on good terms? Are they are they pretty chummy, those two?
As far as I know.
There's what were we saying, Roger? Because I was just going to add.
It was kind of like along the same lines that Sonia was saying. Most of the remote viewers are the ones who say that, because I've heard a lot of remote viewers talking about AI being a part of the Draconians and all that stuff.
Draco reptilians.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
It's the Antichrist. Scary. It's kind of scary too, because you'll see a lot of people with mental illnesses get really into it, and they want to like isolate themselves, and they got the AI who tells them everything they want to hear, and it's just really kind of freaky when you watch that stuff and you hear
people that are lonely, isolated with no friends.
Yeah, right.
I rarely
just don't know any better.
I rarely go to the AI. Like, they have this feature here on Skype, and they got it popping up everywhere now, where it's like, hey, Copilot, AI Copilot, you check this out, even on Minds.
Everywhere. So pretty much.
But I rarely go to it. It's
apparently new computers are going to be sold with AI in them already.
But can you
what I've heard,
turn it off if you want to, option turn it off?
Just like Windows features, right? Turn those off or on, right? Kind of thing.
So just up to speed here on the comments, rather than the peanut gallery. Cannabis medical cards don't work in Russia, by the way, says Zane. I'm not sure if he is in Russia himself at present or not, but I think that was regarding our the cannabis collective blurb that we shared just a short while back, of course. And Karmalov here talking about the she likes your, I think, did you say purple spaceship? She digs that, and our response, of course, is great. Hope you like the design as well, and that you'll pick up, snap up a few of the items that Sonia has helped to launch in support of the flagship, the show here, Pirate Radio Podcast, the wider WPRPN.com, World Pirate Radio Podcast Network, the People's Pirate Network. So having said that, it should be no surprise why half of everything that we do manage to generate as far as income is concerned, donations, sale of items, patron support, and whatnot, goes directly back to the grassroots. Hashtag WWRHD. What would Robin Hood do? But finally, there's a little more that we're going to add to that. It's kind of bouncing around. We got to ensure that we got to queue up. Let's just queue up these videos. We've been putting them on hold too long. I'm sure people are curious. Stand by, grab a coffee, or your favorite beverage, maybe however it is that people prefer to occupy themselves when engaging live streams such as ours. Maybe fill up a little. If it was me back in Canada, I just don't see how I would not be able to. I have a major problem, because for me, with respect to the whole music and live performance business, if you want to be real honest, I just can't smoke weed, man. I just cannot. Or my lyrics mostly, it's it does something to my brain where lyrics, I guess it kind of, your thinking becomes a little more foggy and not as clear as it could be, not as optimal. So
That's what it's supposed to do.
What's that? Go ahead.
That's what it's supposed to do, man. It's supposed to make your brain foggy, and it's working. You
apparently, one of the things that weed does, as well as it kind of it compromises your psychic shield.
Well, I've said that, and that's why I'm against DMT and all that stupid bullshit everybody keeps talking.
Though? It makes you more open to spiritual attack. So, but I also think about it, like what Christ talked about, be of good cheer. He was big on this heart. You talk about the Pharisees, I think it was, their hearts are so hard. So, in other words, I think really what he was getting at was that it's important for us to cultivate metta, this loving kindness business, which, it just further reinforces the fact, my belief, that he was heavily influenced. And there's a lot of scholars out there, religious scholars, that are down with this idea as well, because you look at the time and the region where he is said to have appeared, that Mahayana Buddhism was really on the upswing throughout the Silk Road region, Han China, Roman Empire, places like Alexandria, Egypt, all the commerce and trade, not only in products, goods, items, but also people being curious about their lives, their place in the world, the purpose of just being here in the first place, and what it really required, or rather was required of us, to best fulfill our the purpose for being here during the just a brief period in time that we have, the span of our lives. So enlightenment, though, just to go back to that, because I think it kind of dovetails somewhat. Having this conversation with the wife the other day, two things: enlightenment in a sense of the light, the satori, as they talk about in the Zen tradition, the eureka, eureka, and that EU is a good thing if you look at it in Greek, right? I think it's koine, which is
enlightenment.
Uh-huh.
Enlightenment is also changing one's mind from what you thought you believed was true into accepting something that's different than what you thought was true. That's a form of enlightenment, not to be confused with woke.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another example of how these bastards they usurp and politicize the language, So that's I'd say it time and again that we really need to be on guard and aware how we use words and how we are careful in just parroting, regurgitating mindlessly, thoughtlessly.
You talk about words, okay, and you mentioned meta, okay, but tell everybody what karuna is, because I know if you know what meta is, you know what karuna is.
Meta. And that's another thing, another example. What did Zuckerberg do with that term? He took it, he dropped a T, and then he used it in the sense of META, which means essentially it's kind of like going beyond or something like that. It's another ancient Greek prefix, the meta. This we live essentially, you could say, in a meta modern age. I often couch things in those those sort of terms.
But like you have karuna too, which is supposed to be like compassion and mercy, and then it's supposed to be the desire to end suffering for everybody. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, right.
So that kind of goes hand in hand with it,
Sure.
I think that's something right there because I've told you I've been wanting to do that, the thing about samsara and stuff, and I'm finding a lot of that stuff really, really fascinating, because like I think a lot of people here in the United States especially, they don't have a clue what the hell they're talking about.
With regarding what? And I saw David shaking his head there.
With Buddhism and Hinduism and all of it. Like they don't have a clue what they're talking about. Like this is serious stuff.
David. Okay. Right. Yeah. I mean that's a show all on its own, of course. And I think it's a great. I love talking about these sort of. So I'm somewhat knowledgeable. What the hell is that, man?
She's doing the AI stuff.
No, that's it's a Styx. See?
Very good.
Oh, I'm good at this. If you want to play the 80s kind of 80s and everything, the 90s I get kind of lost a little bit. It's got to be like a really good. I gave up on it. It's like maybe Tom Petty and Bruce Dillon. I fought Van Morrison. Those are my guys. The Eagles, the Beatles, the Stones. Like, and I like Lemmy because of his authenticity. There's that term again. And Fakebook coming out. I mean, of all places, Fakebook coming out saying that we're the ones being inauthentic. I mean, give me a break.
He doesn't put makeup on his warts.
There is a time limit for the music too. Like it can only be a sample, not like over a certain amount of time.
All right. So, you might want to just careful with
good at clips and talking while you're doing
it. Like a little musical trivia game. Yeah, we can have a musical trivia. I'd be happy doing a component. Look, we got to get this ET thing on the go, and we can do more music next week. I'd be happy to. But the sound quality via your end, Sonia, is not very good. So if you're doing it, what you'll want to do is you'll want to share your screen, and you know how you click on the audio to allow that. Hopefully you should know if you can fit, and then do that. We could do that in the pre-show tech check end of things, but as it is, I'm at the helm here, kind of working to do what I can to steer things along. Captain Long John Sinclair has, he has basically I was press ganged, as the story I've shared a few times, not recently, but press ganged years ago into service, and just woke up this one day after, being out. I met these new, this, just I was at a local drinking hole. Actually, I think was it the Scurvy Dog, the Howling Wolf, or the Mossy Wench, one of the three, and yeah, just before I knew it, I woke up and had been, press ganged into service upon the Robin Hood. So they wanted me to.
Did you say a mossy wench?
Yeah, Mossy Wench. Yeah. Pirate Larry. And remember, David, you remember Pirate Larry, don't you? Sure, you do. Of course you do. Yeah. So he passed away, right? Yeah, he's. And now another thing too. Speaking of which, we got to finish that enlightenment business as well. A lot of monkey mind that I've got on the go here today, unfortunately, jumping all over the place. But yeah, he leveled up, as it were, dropped the body. Not a Scientologist, but it's a great term that they use. And Hubbard drew upon, incorporated a lot of different influences and sources to kind of cobble together his cult of greed, essentially. But yeah, Pirate Larry, Piratas de Dios, the Pirates of God, helped to inspire us, really, and remind us that we too are here, as the Blues Brothers had said in the past, on a mission from God. We all are, whether we realize it or not. But I think we, especially here with the show we do, the format that we have, the spirit, and definitely, and I think we do a great job, all things considered. So, and always appreciate the public support for the effort that we do make. This is a big deal. As was mentioned earlier, we take the day off of work, other than, this is our job essentially. Wednesdays here via South Korea. So, but yeah, let's get that ET alien disclosure video going here. And enlightenment, though, Satori Karuna, that's a beautiful term, concept, and way of cultivating the inner kingdom. The inner kingdom, something David knows a lot about. I would imagine. I mean, this is hardcore. He's more, more hardcore than I am, as far as, what is it? You were practicing these Friday night, not, you call them pujas, but you would do like a Friday night kind of prayer. Is that right, David? How was that structured, essentially? What was your purpose?
Are you talking about when I was involved with the CE5 with the UFO?
I wasn't aware. I was aware of that angle, but I thought you had a prayer, like you did a midnight sort of mass, or just a prayer to, wasn't it for all of humanity kind of deal? How was that structured?
It was my Friday night midnight meditation, and since it's been a while, I've been on here, and these other people don't know anything about me. I've studied religions. I've studied 20 of the Christian denomination religions. I've studied Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, read the Torah, read the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And, in my opinion, all religions have some sort of moral merit, value, and stuff like that. But to put one on a pedestal higher up than the other, saying, we are the one and everything like that, I'm not into that. I believe I'm more of an inner spiritual person, and I have meditations. I lift people up to the universe, do a little yoga, do a little meditation. And earlier when y'all were talking about DMT, or ayahuasca or whatever it is that, you were getting into and everything like that. Shortly after I moved up here to Missouri, and I got my disability and started getting my Medicaid and going to the doctor and, having my health, brought up to par and everything. My physician wanted me to quit smoking. And I said, "No, man, I don't want to quit smoking. I don't smoke enough to be worried about smoking or anything like that." Well, between the combination of knowing what some people know about COVID and its relationship to nicotine.
Yeah, be careful now.
I decided
we are live streaming via BoobTube, so be careful how you. I know I'm happy to have in behind the scenes to share, to really just unleash and be very more to the point, but we've got to kind of dance around things a little bit here, or they're gonna, totally, want
okay.
to
The point I was
punish us.
going to bring up was the fact that nicotine patches have only one side effect, and that side effect is lucid dreaming. Well, I already lucid dream. So getting a nicotine patch put on before I go to bed, oh my goodness, the things that I can experience and the things that I can see with a nicotine patch, not a drug, not LSD, not marijuana or anything like that. The nicotine patch has opened my understanding to things that I didn't have the capacity to grasp before.
Never heard that before. Although Salvador Dali apparently would eat a lot of cheese quite often before going to bed, and he claimed he was quite adamant that helped him to hallucinate and come up with the wild, sort of creations, artistic creations.
No,
that he
tobacco.
did.
Tobacco is actually an offering that's usually made for offerings
Yeah.
by a lot of Indians.
That's right.
When they go out there, and when it comes to drugs, nicotine is one of the strongest drugs out there. So I mean, if I didn't have the habit of smoking a cigarette, I would just sit and take nicotine patches all day, because that's just the biggest high you could ever get.
So you are a smoker.
Yeah, I've been a smoker forever. I started smoking when I was like 13.
All right. Okay.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of people have that misconception about it, like it's not really a drug, but it's one of the strongest they've got.
Well, and then the whole thing too, as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty obvious, and it's great to see RFK Jr. there. I'm really happy that he managed to, win and the position and be nominated, to serve in that key government capacity for at least the next 4 years. Hopefully, we'll see a lot of positive change occur on the health front. But also, just to be clear, speaking of health and whatnot, that for the record, we are not here to offer any formal medical, financial, or legal advice. If you do have any outstanding issues in these areas, be sure to reach out and consult either people directly within your own community, experts certified in these areas, or through the interwebs, however it is that you reckon that these problems best be remedied and solved. So, in addition to all this, that the views and opinions expressed on behalf of myself, the show's host, and our guest do not necessarily reflect those of either the wider listening audience nor the show's sponsors. So, BoobTube or any of the other would-be censors that are out there, do take heed. Moreover, we do have, what is this caveat disclaimer? I think Mark is still here with us, isn't he? That
yeah,
sure, that it's and now we've talked about this in the past, saying that it's not applicable to us because we live stream out of Korea, but the copyright, similar to the transitional philosophy and way of going about putting online content together for educational purposes, right? Is the it's what is it, article something or another, subsection 503, Is that right?
Just
check out our show description. You'll see it at the bottom. It's right at the bottom of every show description that we have out there, pretty much. So we just doing our best to have that standard disclaimer and caveat that, you know, we're here to engage in dialogue, you know, freely, and you know, as semi-reasonable, rational adults may on occasion do, and work on hashing over, discussing, sussing out, as the Brits so often put it, right, Mark? These you know, the current events and what's actually taking place around the world, ultimately the issues that do in many ways impact us from all various directions on a daily basis. That being said, I would argue that it's most critical not to worry so much about the external world and phenomenon as we see it through the senses, hearing, you know, tasting, touching, visual, and then the consciousness that from that point, the response that arises within our stream of you know, thought, consciousness, but that we go within ourselves. Really, that's where we do that work, in the internal spiritual work, as David has really committed himself to. Did you say you're still continuing to explore and cultivate the, you know, what is the goal then? Once again, just the inner space, not, you know, as above, so below, as is often said, even in Buddhism. And it freaks out a lot of the fundamentalists, but the Christian fundamentalists, Bible thumpers, but, you know, because you see that what is that one with, is it Baphomet, as above, so below? It's like, oh geez. But you know what? We have a little thing on the door outside here of this cute little Buddha doing the same thing. In fact, one of the first thing that he did, apparently, in obtaining enlightenment, do you know what it was? The Buddha? He reached down and he touched. Pardon me?
I said not offhand.
Oh, okay. Well, and actually, it was his hand. He, believe it or not, he reached down and touched the earth. You know that Doors song, "Not to Touch the Earth"? Not to touch the earth. In fact, I love to go and, I wish I had it here. I like to go and listen to it after the show. It's good. I think that's where Morrison.
That is my favorite song from the Doors.
Well, okay, let's hear it then. Do a little a cappella impromptu version.
Not to touch the earth.
Just sing it,
Not,
dude.
Touch the sky.
I'd have to bring up the lyrics. Go, Jeff. You sing better than me anyway.
That's one of the Doors songs that just, forget it. I have to.
Nothing left to do but run. Let's
there
run.
You go. There you go.
Yeah.
Don't make me have to sing it. You know it's not going to sound.
So
do it, Roger.
I would be curious to know whether or not that's where he got it from. Not to touch the earth. That's the whole Buddha thing. And do you know why the Buddha did that upon his enlightenment? Reach down and touch the earth?
Why?
Well, it was like a completion of the circuit, really. You know how people do like grounding or groundling? He did that as an affirmation, similar to like Mara or Satan in the Christian tradition. I know you. Satan, get behind thee. Buddha, Mara, I know you. You know, the
another epiphany?
Huh? Yeah, let's have
another one. We call AI artificial intelligence today, but you know what the first thing was called AI before artificial intelligence?
Machine learning?
Nope. The first term that was called AI was artificial insemination. Ooh. Now, here recently I found out that you can take one sperm from a male and you can take and split it up, and you can impregnate multiple females from one human sperm.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. You take that and you look at it, and then you compare that to the term artificial intelligence and the process that goes on with that. It's just insane when you look at it.
Do you know the men are actually en route to disappear from the earth?
because they're too busy on artificial intelligence on the internet.
With all the XXX content that's out there, you're saying, or what? But
Yeah.
apparently
I mean,
that's what the deal is. Like, this is not going to happen overnight, supposedly, but we won't see it in our lifetime. But it'll eventually. And look at the ETs you hear, but we hear, if people have looked into it, how they're kind of androgynous, really, or just there's no sex or gender at all. So, and this is kind of along the lines with this I don't know if you call it epiphany exactly, but or a eureka moment. I was a kid. It was really strange how these things happen. The darndest things kids say, usually after thinking about them or not. So often we don't really reflect on what we're communicating, where we really should have taken the time to do so, obviously. But I was at the end of my driveway back in Canada, British Columbia, I think it was just on the way home after school, standing there, and I had this, like, as a hypothesis, I guess, as a child of probably, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9, that because Star Wars was a big thing at the time, and maybe I was just thinking about, like, outer space, looking up to the sky, and aliens, other life on other planets, and thinking about, and I have no idea how this came to me, but that they are us as we are them, only they are returning to we're all, through time and space, everything is one, is how the story goes, right? This Maya illusion, the ma as in Korean, meaning make or magic, and matrix, of course. It's really fascinating. The oma is mother in Korean, and just, you find it everywhere. Ma is actually weed, hemp. Daema is smokable. Ma, just the handbook, the kind of really beautiful clothes, traditional Korean clothes that are worn on special occasions. But yeah, that there was, like, they were us returning, maybe to work with us, or how they talk about, like, time travel. And don't ask me how I kind of just that clicked at that time for me as just a goofy little, I don't know, like, as the age I was at and how it came to me. But I still, even at where I am now, I can't get my head wrapped around it. You're hearing how it is I'm struggling to articulate. But it came to me in this big eureka moment. The only other time I can think of such a similar time incident was around that point in my life where I was at the end of my grandmother's driveway, and I was just struck and frozen. That's what happened with this other incident, this other deal as well, where it was like I was just like the way Socrates would sometimes wander around, and just they'd find him stuck and frozen in some sort of deep trance or thought, basically. And it was regarding the death of Elvis. And there's something about it that had a profound impact on me. John Lennon's death did too. I was lying in bed for that one in the middle of winter, Canada. There was snow on the ground, pretty sure. And the news came through on CBC radio. I still listen to, like, podcasts late at night. Always want to have something kind of mostly Art Bell, actually, with a mix of other things. Go ahead.
Sorry, Jeff. I put a good link in, or for the good version of Not to Touch the Earth. It's like 3 minutes. If you want to throw that into the vids.
Oh, well, tell you what.
Cool.
You know what? Let's do that, and then we're gonna put we'll play the shorter ET kind of video. Let's do the ET video first, and then we'll cue up the Doors and sing along. Hopefully, do you think, Roger, if we do the whole song, are we going to
It's available on YouTube, so
Yeah, and that's the thing too. So many of these accounts, it's like they have the Doors, they have so many Doors songs or Beatles or whatever, and it's like, well, but it's not the official channel. Like, who are these people? Who are they? And why can't they get away with
I
that?
would do the karaoke version. Grab the karaoke to where you
Okay.
can sing along.
Is that-
and then put
I'll find
that
it.
on?
Is that the
I'll find
best
it.
way of doing it?
It would probably be the safest
yeah.
way of doing it.
Okay, but think
way-
about that. Have you not? Like, you got these other channels. They're not official Doors, Beatles, Stones, any of these big acts. Bruce and
Right.
Bob Dylan is the worst. Him and Sony. It's mostly Sony. I don't really blame Dylan per se, but
I hate Sony. Sony can
It's-
kiss my ass.
they're awful, man. They like we
Yeah.
did Must Be Santa, Must Be Santa, Must Be Santa, Santa
And the
Claus.
Music Guild,
Gone. The video, they took the whole show down, man. And you know, off of YouTube.
that Music Guild, you know what? They can kiss my ass. Them and the SAG, they have a scam going with freaking streamers on YouTube like you wouldn't believe, man. They'll purposely allow their songs to be put on like video games and stuff like that, just so they can flag you for copyright infringement and get money off of the videos
Yeah.
you post.
Yeah. And what is
So you-
infringement anyways? That's not, it's like the fringe is on the edges, right? So it's like you
Yeah.
just it's not like a gross violation, right? Where it's like you're just
Right.
totally doing the worst thing possible, but it's like it's just a slight, so let's say, we think this may be, they often say, we think this may be in infringed. It's like, oh God, come on.
Mark's
What-
good. Mark's getting fired up.
Well,
I
let
can
him.
hear
This is his
rappers.
bailiwick. Let him unload.
Yeah.
Go for it.
This is where he's ready to fire, dude.
You are guilty until proven innocent.
That's the Napoleonic Code.
Yeah.
You know,
the opposite way.
That is
around,
the
but-
Napoleonic Code. We have that here in South Korea, Japan. Yeah, it's really, it's not. It's what did the dude say? It's like this just won't stand, man. So this is what, unfortunately, I may be facing tomorrow. The visit to immigration, where could be having to contend with a hefty fine, perhaps. But
Yeah, but
we'll see.
you do understand how the dude's adventure started, right? Like somebody went in and freaking shit on his carpet, and that's where it all began, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Yeah.
No, it didn't
that-
crap on his carpet. They peed.
it was crap, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was pee.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, that's how the freaking story started. You know what I
Frickin'
mean?
A.
Like, and then like
Frickin'
the
right.
part where he's the best part about that movie that describes him in One Lump Sum is when he's driving down the road and he's smoking a roach and he drops it.
Yeah.
And he flips his car right in the middle of the street, dude. That is the dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just wanted to point that out.
Oh
Like,
my God. I'd love it's like that right up there with Caddyshack, one of the top comedies ever. So, okay, let's get this going here. You've probably heard the story before, many of you, the Eisenhower angle of things. We'll save the actually, people can look it up on their own if they want. This business regarding all they simply have to do, keywords, Shirley Wright, Roswell. Okay? So but the video goes on for, oh gosh, let's see what it is. It's got to be 15, it's almost 20 minutes. So I don't want to chop it up into segments either. We'll save it for next week. But in the meantime, yeah, Shirley Wright, Roswell. Okay. And this is courtesy of, according to Robert last night, as we had this item brought to us and drawn to his attention via Whitley Strieber, actually, who's made a big name for himself throughout the years, starting, I guess, with his alleged alien abduction of sorts or encounter. I really couldn't tell you much more than that, but there was a big book that he put out back in the day, right? And he was a really he was a frequent guest on Art Bell's show, and he's done his own work since then. So Robert knows him quite well, actually, but that's how we heard about this. Dr. Shirley Wright, working as an intern under Einstein, back in 1947, and their visit to down to the Roswell region itself to inspect the wreckage and the bodies, along with telepathic consultation, is what she claims. So we don't quite have the time to do that, to play the video itself. Once again, just draw your attention to what it is that we're referencing. Summer 69. You know what? Screw it. Let's go for that. You got it here, man. Because I know I can pretty much sing that one in the key which is D. I've played it here from time to time. Guitar, I could get the guitar. Actually, it's best to rip these videos first rather than have them stream like this. Tell you the truth. So there's a delay, of course, and issues with these things loading. Speaking of which, I'm not sure why this is frozen over here. Really strange. The restream end of what we're looking at. So we like to copy and archive the conversation dialogue that we have here. Let's shut that down though, and that'll maybe make it easier for this video to play, as people can probably make out. And here we have a hungry little cat here, not quite on the edge of starvation.
I got my first real 6-string, bought it at the 5 and 9.
Everybody, come on now.
Played it till my fingers bled. Was the summer of 69. Me and some guys from school had a band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit, Jody got married. I should have known we'd never get far.
This is not Brian Adams, by the way.
When I look back now, the summer seemed to last forever. And if I had the choice, yeah, I'd always wanna be there. Those were the best days of my life.
crappy little guitar, but you know, you can use it for practicing. So thanks for that, man. That's a good call. So I don't know if we're gonna do anything more.
I heard you saying like, oh, how cheesy Brian Adams. Then you walk over and grab your guitar.
No, just to be clear,
you're like, you love him to death. I know you do.
You're not.
Hilarious.
No,
you're
misunderstanding.
That was like one of the first songs I've ever heard you sing.
What? Sorry.
That was one of the first songs I ever heard you sing.
Oh, I thought you said one of the worst.
One of the first.
I've heard Jeffy sing Christmas songs and stuff.
Yeah, my voice.
Summer of '69 though was like the one he really he'll jam out if you give him a chance.
That one, because I know the key. I was like practicing it the other day. I finally, I never did this for years. I was just so lazy and negligent, really. But yeah, like I played in bands in the past, and just average, nothing all that outstanding. Although songwriting, I really think is. I just really wish that I could have a chance to have more people hear my demos. Some of the demos are pretty. I think I don't think I know. Like some of them, if they were put in the right hands, could definitely be used to reach a larger audience. And all I really am interested in is like songwriting credit. You know, kind of like Brian Adams gets here for doing what he does. So, and because I need to. I don't know.
There's actually a song I think you would probably be the only person I know who'd know this song. But the song is about a guy who falls in love with a girl, and freaking they were going to run off together, and he was supposed to meet her at the bridge, but when he got there, he found out she was dead. And like the video, it seems like she ended up getting killed by the police officer before he got there. It was back in the 70s or the early 80s that this song came out.
You don't know the name?
I've been trying to remember it for the life of me. It was back. It was somebody like Brian Adams or a person like that that came out.
Yeah. Well, death is a pretty constant.
It's actually supposed to be a love song.
Right. There's some tragic angle and element to the whole thing. Look at that poor squirrel, man. They are just, the state is just evil. The state is not your friend, people. Will BoobTube shut us down for saying that? But, prove to us that you are in our corner and that you really do support and serve our interests. Is what I would argue. And this is one of the great things about America is that tradition of individualism, but coming together in order to promote and work to better strengthen individual rights. Liberties are something that I'm not big on, frankly, at all, because as far as I can tell, they are rights. They're like sub rights, basically, or things that are allowances that are given to you via some third party entity, or like an overseer of some kind, council or politburo.
What do you consider liberties, though?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That rights are inherent. Freedoms are inherent. Rights or liberties are something that some other third party endows upon others so that we are essentially subjects. We are just we're pawns in the game. It's like basically human chattel, essentially. We're chattel. You don't have to be, but that's the way that the powers that be.
It's the French.
Pardon me?
French. It's the French, dude.
Blame the French, huh? Liberté, fraternité, and what was the other one? Liberty, freedom, and who the hell knows? Anyways,
see, this is where.
Well, it's in the American Constitution. It's not a liberty, fraternity, and
equality, equalite.
That's all
Yeah,
French.
equality. Yeah.
Get that French shit out of here.
It didn't say.
Vive la.
Oh, sacre bleu,
Equality.
tabernacle. Les
You know,
Americans.
like we're over here talking about private property and being able to own our property without the government coming in and kicking in the doors and stuff. And the French are all talking about equity.
Well, that's the thing. No. See, equality versus equity. Let's not get into that now. Clearly, there is a difference and distinction. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe more than one that could be referenced, obviously, and observed. So, but we gotta boogie on out of here, folks. It's been several hours now, looking at the clock, almost 3, as a matter of fact, 3 hours of live streaming content. We'll be back again this Friday with Andrew Curry. That's the game plan, at least. He's a former co-host of the Morning Star Report. I'm not sure. This is one of the things we'll come to discover, I guess, is how it was that he and why he exited, or had to take a basically step aside for a time, at least, sabbatical or what have you. So I have no idea why. I have a vague idea how it was that the two of them connected. He reached out to Robert, and Bobby brought him on board. I just realized they'll probably piss Robert off. He's very Taoist. That's how he, for years, I guess, how he has modeled himself, this self-identifying. But wow, for the longest time, I seemed to think that he was like really sort of easygoing, and nothing really could ruffle his feathers or get under his skin. But oh my God, he's got a really bad temper. He can really get triggered with certain things. Definitely.
Buddhists are all that way.
Oh, he's
really,
not a
really
Buddhist, man. He's a Taoist.
Well, he's tantric Buddhist, isn't he? That's what Taoists are.
I don't think so, but given the fact, I mean, he's been
which is kind of cool. Don't get me wrong, because at least they're the laid back ones. They're not sexually repressed or anything.
What are you talking about? Who's laid back and sexually?
The tantrics.
They're laid back.
They're all laid back.
Well, it depends what position you're taking. I mean, if you can be laid back, but if you're into all sorts of,
orgies and stuff.
You're pretzeling your body into all sorts of.
That's right. Get
different
it
shapes
on,
and sizes.
baby. Get it on. It's like
too
freaking
old for that stuff, man. I tell you.
They got big old statues of like huge orgies taking place.
Really?
Yeah.
The Yab Yum, I think, is it known as Yab Yum, and that really
and stuff.
That really was too much for Victorian England at the time when they came across the statues in India, the tantric kind of Vajra, the yin and yang, male and female doing the deed, basically. But I don't think they quite understood the significance. Think about it, folks. It's that's where life comes from. That's how. This is something that Christ himself talked about. It's right there in the New Testament, with this business of children emerging from their mother's womb. And is it just and why is it that 35 times this little catchphrase "born again" appears in the New Testament? It's either 34 or 35 times. So seemingly this appears to be something that was on their radar at the time. It was part of public discourse, and they were having conversations regarding. No great surprise, given the fact, once again, as we hit upon earlier, the Silk Road, basically environment and culture, and everything that arose within that context. Christ did not appear out of a vacuum.
Right.
There's no bloody way He's not a sterile kind of individual. He was pretty dynamic, it would seem, definitely. And I would argue that what he had to say, it really got muddied down, unfortunately, mostly because of politics, and I think the Sanhedrin had a real central role in things. They were the ones who demanded that he be put to death. That's how the story goes. Although it's interesting because Nicodemus, there's another character too that's referenced. Nicodemus, Josephus, I guess. Joseph rather,
Josephus.
Arithemia. I don't have that right. Josephus of Arimathea. I love that little prefix, Arimathea, like Aramaic, sort of the language, presumably, that they spoke. He was the one who claimed Christ's body, which kind of was a surprise to Pilate because it was sooner than had been expected. That generally, it said, it took a while longer for people to die as a result of crucifixion. What are you doing there, son? You making out with Jim Morrison? Come on. Hey,
yes,
we got to get you on camera for this one. Don't move. Oh my God, what a
kissing.
Oh, look at that. Oh, Jim, the Lizard King needs more tongue, son. Come on.
Now she's fading. She's fading out. She's getting too far away from the
Look
camera.
at her. She's totally in love with Jim Morrison. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Turn your head and kiss me.
But that's okay.
I do love Jim.
Well, what's interesting too, and this is the synchronicity. Two things. My mother, who recently passed away, one of the big things that I'll always remember her for and thank her for, appreciate, is when she managed a bookstore back in the central interior of BC, our hometown. She gifted me with a couple of his books of poetry. She knew that I was sort of an aspiring young musician. I had an affinity, a thing for Jim and the Doors. You're wild, the youth that so many, it's a stage of life that we all have to go through, obviously. And myself, big time School of Hard Knocks. There's no doubt about that. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. And but she it was cool the way she did that, really. And so I really always will appreciate that. She was great in so many other ways too. Very soft spoken, easygoing, happy go lucky. I've been working on this song, happy go lucky. That she loved that catchphrase, that term, happy go lucky. And that's kind of how she herself was in many ways, unless she was drinking. She smoked herself to death, was the unfortunate thing. That's, COPD, and then multiple experimental kill shots, not underlying comorbidities. It's like the doctor's like, oh yeah, oh this is good, take it. It's like, I don't know. I certainly wouldn't have done that, but we tried to advise them, like, gee, maybe this, because this is our family, like, maybe this might not be such a great idea. But anyways, so gone sooner rather than later, off to a better place. So I've got no doubt about that whatsoever. And that's mostly because these NDE testimonies that have returned to us, when we kind of shed our skin, drop the body. How would you say ascend? I don't know what other way is there saying. It's like, wow, moving on,
Ascend.
out of this proving ground.
And when you was talking about ascending and resurrection, I've been doing a lot of that research on my channel, and just to let you know, man, there is multiple religions, belief systems that go way back before Christianity, and even Egyptians that talk about resurrection and renewal.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
So
Zoroastrianism, they were heavily into that, right?
Indo-European. I've been talking your ear off about Indo-European, Indo-Aryan. You know, they do it all the time. It's all through their stuff.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of which, I didn't know until just a few months ago that there, 'cause don't know why I didn't click, but it took so long. But there was actually not only just an Eastern Asian based network of silk and spice routes all the way from India and Asia Minor to Japan, if you can believe that, both overland as well as via the sea, So, but here's the kicker: there was also a Viking. There was a Viking series of Silk Roads as well to the Black Sea, the Baltic, throughout and beyond the Mediterranean, all the way up to Scandinavia, and it's really something. I think there's a Viking horde. I think it's called Helgo. People want to look that up. 8th or 9th century Viking horde, Helgo, and they found this little, among other things, lots of coins and whatnot. Roman coins found in Japan as well too. The western shores of Japan, ancient Roman coins buried, hidden. But the Viking horde, I think it's Helgo, Helgo. I might be mistaken. It could be at around 9th century. The statue, it's Gandhara, if people know about that, the Gandharan region, and the style that it is produced in, very much according to the experts, is Gandharan. So, which is kind of like northwest India, close to where Alexander was said to have visited, and where there was a lot of the Indo-European mixing and mingling. And let's not forget, so not only that influence, very just kind of ancient, the multicultural, probably even to some extent multi-ethnic, because you have these strategic alliances and intermarriages taking place throughout the course of things. But just there's just a lot of moving parts, obviously. But speaking of moving, we gotta transition on out of here. We'll pick up the conversation on the flip side. Andrew Curry, really looking forward to connecting with him, of course. David Charles, great to see you here once again. What's the best way of people contacting you? Is it just Facebook? Don't you have a Minds channel in place? And I don't understand why it's taking everybody so long to launch their own in-house WPRPN.com subdomain. It's free, and it can be quite easily done. If people run into any problems along the way, just get back to us. We'll do what we can because we can go in and work behind the scenes to send you a like a new password that you can then change and whatnot. Take it from there. It's quite straightforward. David, what's the best way besides Facebook? Anything?
Well, I'm on Facebook mostly now because I'm involved in a lot of the homestead, off-grid, permaculture groups. I have a private group on homesteading and stuff like that, where I share books in the group.
That's right.
That I got from Telegram for free.
That's right.
And I downloaded them to the group where people, can get access to it. I have Instagram, and I'm also on Telegram as well.
Well, leave us your top number one link in the side chat here, and we'll take it from there. We usually like to just run with one URL. We had you, and I think we probably still do, because we keep a list of all the crew members, basically. So just whatever your top. No Minds yet? No Minds channel launched? Damn, look into it.
Oh, I got rid after I stopped doing the pirate radio with you and everything like that. I turned around and my phone went to crap, and then I had to turn around and get a phone through my disability, which is this little cheap thing right here. And I'm very limited to stuff I can get on it.
Right.
And then I only have a small Wi-Fi allowance every month. So, I wouldn't be able to do podcasts, but maybe one, two, maybe three, a month.
Right.
But if they're like 3 hours long and stuff, I can't really do that anymore.
Yeah. But you can join us for like 30 minutes or an hour and then drop out, right? That's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like on Tuesdays or whatever.
Yeah, like tonight was okay, I guess, more or less. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff, man. Good seeing you again. I'm glad you're doing well, and it's good to reconnect, and we always look forward to hearing more from you. You're fighting the good fight. You're doing God's work, as it were, I would argue. And I mean, it's hashtag good karma, okay? And we'll leave it at that. So yeah, good stuff, man. Sonia Galactic, of course. Sonia Galactic. It's galacticfire.com, and Galactic, it's with 2 E's. So just to let people know.
It's EC.
Yeah.
Not TIC.
Right. Exactly.
There's no 2 E's.
Well, Galactic.
Tech. TEC.
Galactic. Just 1 E?
Yeah, TEC instead of TIC.
GALATEC. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just,
yep,
yeah.
That's okay.
That's what, yeah. So galacticfire.com. You yourself, what's your latest endeavor over there?
Ooh.
Anything more in the way of pirate type merchandise? We did feature some of the T-shirts tonight. People were able to see on the screen.
Not necessarily on the pirate side.
Right.
However, I did add Mark W. So we've got Dragus Productions over there. He's got a T-shirt out so far. And then I've got a bunch that I'm going to be releasing here probably a week at a time, maybe. But actually, I got a couple new ones, out there. Yeah, like that. You already have a couple of them up on the slideshow. So. Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Good to hear. So, we are going to, just because it's there, we talked about it. I mean, I've just suddenly, spontaneously, as I so often am, decided that we're gonna queue up the doors here, not to touch the earth.
Yeah, baby.
And see where this takes us. So once again, I said, quality production-wise, it is best if you use data. All right. It's very anti-Buddhistic, perhaps. No, don't complete the circuit.
68.
Not to touch the earth, not to see the sun, nothing left to do but run, run, run. Let's run.
Where are the...
Let's run. House upon the hill, moon is lying still, shadows of the trees, witnessing the wild breeze.
What the hell's going on there? Why did it jump ahead like that? Yeah, let's pick that up again one more time.
House upon the hill, moon is lying still, shadows of the trees, witnessing the wild breeze. Come on, baby, run with me. Let's run. Run with me. Run with me. Run with me.
Crystal ship. JD Vance makes Europe cry. Free speech. You do have free speech. Just don't offend anybody, okay?
The mansion is warm at the top of the hill. Rich are the rooms and the comforts there. Red are the arms of luxuriant chairs. And you won't know a thing till you get inside.
Come on. father was
I am a lizard king. I can do anything.
Wow. That is so cool, man. I have not heard that song in a long time. So
That was bitchin'.
yeah. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way, a good, decent way of capping this live stream off. Show segment number 307 of World Pirate Radio News. Andrew Curry, once again, looking forward to having him on board this Friday night, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 out on the East Coast. He's a Vancouver-based film industry insider, actually, among other things. So that'll definitely be one of the talking points, items we'll have to discuss. We have tried to actually to put a show together, a feature show with Naroki 5 and Mark Devereaux, actually, of I think it was True Crime Vancouver, is the project that he had in place. I'm not sure if he's kind of transitioned a little bit away from that or not, but the Picton Pig Farm, we've referenced this a few times now, taking a walk out there on the dark side, and along with the whole Queen Justine Trudeau, or if you will, Castro angle to things, how he finds his way into the mix. Sometimes it's a little less than even 6 degrees of bacon. Sometimes it's just 1 or 2 degrees of bacon. If you want to take a closer look at things and see what's really happening behind the scenes, 1 or 2 degrees of bacon is really all it takes. So WPRPN.com, the website, in case you have not been made aware of that by this point. Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com is our email address. Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com for PayPal, Patreon. Take a look at the show description end of things, all kinds of groovy t-shirts, coffee mugs, ways that you can help us out on that front, liking, commenting, sharing, remembering to hit the subscription, notification buttons, passing word on to friends, family, and co-workers. We really would appreciate your help, people. On behalf of Captain Long John Sinclair and all the rest of the crew here down in Skullport Harbor, I'm your host as always, Robin, his Chief Communications Officer, reminding you that until we meet again, having is high, often all too in digital seas, keep your ear to the ground and eyes to the sky. Tally ho.